have taglines, huh?
Should I start this episode with like the theme?
Nope, just do we have taglines?
Okay. We do. We have quite a bunch. So right off the bat, I just want to introduce our guests because I'm sure you guys want to comment on these. Tyler, Vicente, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we'll get into why you're here once we start this episode, if you haven't listened to the shorties. But the first one, the reluctant guest.
No.
Okay.
Just
next.
And we are the reluctant viewers.
I'd have to agree with Jarrett on that. Yeah.
Ow, I laughed and my heart hurt. That's what this movie did to me. I was like, oh, the joke wasn't that good.
Next one, Get Out.
Was a great film.
A few years later.
Were they ahead of their time?
Similar plot.
Yeah. Entire family.
No, they meant out of the theater.
Okay, I was like,
next one, the future would be in good hands if she had any.
Wait,
what?
What picture? Who is
Madame
she?
Leota.
So-
Okay.
Oh,
I
so that's like,
get
did they do
it.
character posters?
That's what I was gonna say. I think so. Which I guess that one.
Okay.
That one's okay.
So
I guess
it's not a.
That was a weird one though, because like what?
Without context, without knowing the movie, without seeing her in front of you, it's like, who? What?
So the
What?
next one, I guess, is the same, right? He'll be happy to serve you on a plate.
Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah.
Ray Liotta and
Well,
and
Anthony
Hannibal.
Hopkins was
Yeah.
supposed to play the guy.
Oh, thank goodness he didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God you read the trivia.
Thank goodness, no.
Next one, check your pulse at the door if you have one.
Oh hell yeah.
Well, I mean,
that could just
they
be high
do.
blood pressure.
Yeah.
If not, like,
You're already
who are they
there.
marketing
Yeah.
this to?
Ghosts.
Actual ghosts.
Yeah.
I want to see a movie.
Holy shit, they're doing a haunted mansion. Use this as fucking Casper.
Or Ghost Dad.
We don't talk about ghosts, Dad. We were there once, and we don't want to look back.
We can totally appear with the lights on too. It's bullshit. Next one, open house.
Sesame. What?
Woof.
Wow.
I think we all got mad at you for that one. For
Yeah.
some reason, we were like, Jonathan, fuck you.
That was like the character that Eddie Murphy plays. Literally, was just like open house. Like I'm trying to sell this fucking movie.
Yeah.
Next, it has a living room. You
And
know,
a dead room.
and a dying room.
Oh, a dying room. Dang it.
The thing that pisses me off the most about these taglines is there's literally the source material you could pull from for your poster.
Yeah.
But they had a bunch of execs sit around and be like, fuck you. Put that on the poster.
They could have, I feel like a poster could have been the chariot that they drive in it, and then they could have said, keep your arms and hands in your doom buggy.
Yeah.
Literally things.
How about just
from
beware
its-
of hitchhiking ghosts?
Yeah.
Or,
Well,
Right?
because
But
they were
because
cut
they're
from
in
the
there
movie,
for
yeah.
30 seconds.
or there's room for 1,000. There you go.
There's room for one more.
There's always room for one more. How about that one? Or
Yeah.
there's room for 100 million ticket sales. Yeah, I mean you're not wrong. So keeps going here.
Oh my God.
There's more.
This keeps going.
This is the
Comes-
most we've had in a while.
I like that one.
comes with a fixed mortgage.
Oh, spell morgue?
That's equally as terrifying in real life.
Yeah, but that
It's a nice
that
crossover between the story and the ride.
Yeah.
that feels like it would be on one of the tombstones in the Lion King.
Yeah.
That one's
That one's
just
I thought you said
corny
in the
enough to
Lion
work.
King. He said the Lion Q. I feel like that
The
would be better
Lion
for
King,
maybe House
2.
3.
Oh,
third
House
story.
3.
Yeah, the third. But
the
this time
third
they're trying to
story.
sell the house.
They're always trying to sell those houses. With so many ghosts, you're never alone in the dark.
I wouldn't be. I'm in the theater
That's
watching
not-
this movie. I'm gonna be.
That's just not good.
That
that's
one's just
not-
like bad. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing about it.
Buy your ticket, sit with a whole bunch of ghosts. Like,
That would be
no.
better. That's a good marketing campaign.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. And the last, 2 bathrooms, his and hers.
New genders. Him
So
and hers.
There's like all the girls have to just like piss inside of a hearse.
They're like, here's a bucket.
Here's your
That's
coffin.
just terrible.
hearse.
I mean, that is wordplay, but they couldn't find any other H word.
Well, see, like the whole thing, like I get it, like,
And horse, skeleton horse.
but if you've seen the
Don
movie, like you can get these taglines. But if you haven't seen the movie, you don't know they're realtors.
Yeah, but why would you be going to this if you hadn't like known the ride?
No,
honestly?
but like that's what I'm saying is like the story of this movie is like they're realtors,
right?
Yeah.
which that's not in the attraction.
No,
Like that's not like it's kind of lightly touched in
There's
the
so
like,
many
trailer,
times when
but
I-
like if you don't watch the trailer, if you're just like,
Yeah.
oh, Haunted Mansion, I want to go see it. These taglines about like selling the house, about
Yeah.
like bathrooms,
But
like they
here's-
don't make
well,
sense.
Yeah, you're right.
But here's the thing: like with pirates, I didn't have to see it. They're pirates. They're just pirates. That's all I'm gonna go watch.
The Pirates
you
of Penzance
know?
Yeah.
Well, part of me
of
just
the Caribbean.
there's so many
That's what he
times.
is.
There's so many
Pirates.
times, and we'll get into it. But there's so many times in this movie that I just for the sake of trolling our guests at the park, wish that they incorporated shit from this movie.
Oh,
Like-
yeah, dude,
like the
don't even
racism, Eddie Murphy being like, "Put me down."
There's a lot about this movie.
Don't
that,
go raising no dark spirits. And I was like,
I just want Eddie Murphy in the hallway with the candlestick.
Well, there's to touch on that lightly is that like there was like a lot of promised stuff to a lot of the stars of this movie. Like Jennifer Tilly was semi-promised that she was going to be incorporated
Madame
into the
Leota?
ride as Madame Leota, and they were just like, nah, fuck that.
All right, so we'll get into that. But first, we got to get into some stats. Ladies and gentlemen, with a budget of $90 million and a gross of $182 million, which is insane, right?
That's actually pretty good.
Double.
That's pretty good.
That's a whole bunch of Disney fanatics that left extremely disappointed.
they're gonna go. That's a whole bunch of Disney dollars.
I mean, I think it was just a
Ew.
con. The moment you walked in, they got your
Yeah.
money.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Oh, yeah.
it's like, oh no.
Well, it's the way with the parks these days, and like I always
Ladies
say,
and ghosts, we got them.
it's either their movies are influenced by the things they have in their parks, or the things that they put in their parks are influenced by their movies. It's a give and a take,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of sad because now it's like zero originality in all realms of
I mean,
their
to
stuff.
be fair, it was hardly any originality. We got all of our old stories from books that were already written a long time ago.
Yeah, but like they weren't fully visualized.
By the
and
way,
they took
also,
them in
how
a
many
neat
Jungle
realm.
Books are we going to have this year?
Oh God, I'm so tired
Wow,
of it.
I don't even know.
Dude,
What is there? Jungle Book, Mowgli, and then there's another one. I don't even know.
We'll cover
It's
those.
the Jungle Books,
book.
Yeah.
which immediately sounds a little weird. So, with one hanging, one magical crystal ball, one skeleton horse, 4 singing statues, multiple reanimated corpses, 8 walking suits of armor, and 999 happy hunts, with a 5 out of 10 on IMDb, a 34 Metacritic score, and a 13% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's 2003's The Haunted Mansion. Let's drop some bombs.
Would you dance with me? I'd rather be boiled alive.
I'm a horny stud. Open up and let me in. I want to rape you until you split in two.
I hate old money. It's greasy, it smells. It's been up 1,000 noses and buried in too many G-strings.
Do you love me? Then why do you defy me?
Because I can.
I want to show you her ass!
Hurry back. Be sure to bring your death certificate. If you decide to join us, make your final arrangements now. We've been dying to have you.
Welcome to Bounce Away, the only podcast recorded inside the projection booth. Joining me inside the studio, as always, is...
the attraction making you go, ah, Jarrett Seifert.
And also joining me to Jarrett's left.
Hello, it's me, Vicente.
And to Vicente's left.
It's me, Tyler. I was trying to think of a clever Haunted Mansion thing, but I could not come to it.
I got cut off guard.
Someone's got to take over for me.
Is right. All right.
The ghost host with the most.
I was going to say the ghost host with the most
Oh,
hosts,
shit.
but I did. I
That's
switched
good.
it at the last moment.
Okay, so anybody who's listening, ladies and gentlemen,
didn't hear the shorties.
and didn't hear the shorties. Unfortunately, my right hand man is going on to better things.
I'm dying to get out of this podcast.
Now that's the tagline.
There we go.
You're dying to see this film. Like,
Yeah.
come on. No, I'm going on. I got some grad school coming up. It's a lot to take on, so we contacted some of our more movie buff, funny friends to fill some seats. It takes 2 butts to fill my seat, even though I don't have that much of a butt. But here they are.
And they all turned it down, and we're here.
Yeah.
We're the ones
No.
We didn't say no right away. Like, what? I just said yes.
They got tricked into it.
Yeah, no, there was it was a very specific selection process. It took me a while to kind
An
of
hour.
Damn
No,
it.
one of the first things.
Whose name do I have on my phone? Let's go.
Yeah.
through it.
No,
So I at work I do train the new hires, and like some of the first things that I always talk to people about, it's like music and movies. And like Vicente off the bat, like whenever we were like going through training, he was like, "Oh, have you seen this film? What about this film? I like this thing. The thing I love about this film." And I was like, "He knows more than me."
same, yeah,
it was
same,
scary.
Same thing when it comes to
And
Vicente.
then Tyler was
I
just
get excited.
cool with movies.
Yeah,
I guess.
same thing when it came to Vicente is so anybody who like I mean, we talk about it all the time. Everybody here currently in this room is all working in the same department. Okay, we do special event decoration at Disneyland, and
We do the setup and breakdown of special event decoration.
yeah.
Thank you, training
Yeah.
voice.
That's the way you say it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
The
All
setup
right,
and
I'll
breakdown.
tell my
I say
Tinder
nothing
dates
because
that.
I say nothing because Jonathan corrected me last time about it. So I'm like, I'm just gonna stay quiet.
I
about
did?
it. Yeah, you said no. That's the best way you say it. Okay. I'm all like, okay, yeah, fine.
For Vicente, because Tyler, for those of you familiar with our Friday the 13th Part 2 episode,
What a fun one.
what a familiar face, right? And so, like,
Voice?
voice. I know we never did share your face, did we?
No.
For good reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
And so I already knew Tyler's talents, and I was like looking down my past guests, because that's the first thing that you kind of look into is like, okay, who was on here and who did well, or who like at least showed promise, right? Can't say you did well. And
Yeah. Can't either.
no,
Who made it like
I mean,
fun, interesting, and
Exactly.
like would be a voice that people actually want to be drawn to, rather than someone that's just like, it was a good bad film,
right?
You know, this part kind of sucked because like what bad acting.
Yeah.
It's like no one wants to listen.
Oh no,
to
that happens all the time.
Was
though.
that Rodney
Like,
on the Rock?
huh?
Hey, now the Ramones are gonna play. Yeah.
all right, yeah, okay.
So I knew that, like, so I listened to the Friday the 13th episode again, and the thing I can say coming away from that is that
What a mistake.
I know. me and Jarrett steamrolled you a lot.
It's all good.
But it was your first one, so
Yeah.
Right.
Everyone's
And-
first time they get steamrolled.
Yeah. that's-
No, but we like because we get excited when we have other guests because like we're like, oh, look at how fun we are. And
yeah,
then
we get to
kind of
actually
forget
play to
include
an
them.
audience in a little bit.
Yeah.
So that happens a lot. We're like, oh my God, we're not trying to make each other laugh, which is extremely hard for both of us.
Yeah.
Like, we're like, I fucking hate you. And so, like, yeah, in that moment, and that was just a fun episode, right? So anybody who wants to hear Tyler prior to this episode, go check out Friday the 13th Part 2 from our backlog.
And if
Now,
you want to hear Vicente, too bad.
It's
Hear 'em on
right
this.
now. It's
Yeah.
right now. But so I already knew. I looked into Tyler from that episode, and I was like, it seems to fit. We have a great relationship outside of here. And then somebody one day was just like, you know what? You guys got good rapport, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, bing. I was like, somebody else said it. It's confirmed. And then for Vicente here, it literally came down to the fact that we had our first shift together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
No, you're not
actually,
wrong.
like-
We had our first shift together, right? And we're driving to the park, and he is just throwing out like lines from movies that even like me, and I've self-proclaimed for a long time of being like, yeah, I fucking love movies. This guy is just throwing out lines, and he's like, yeah, remember that? And like I'd say 3/4, I'd be like, yeah, right. And then he'd throw out one, and like even me, I had to be like kind of play it off. I was like, yeah, that part.
That was me for the entire episode of us on when we went to the Grind Bin podcast.
Oh.
You guys would throw out references, like the two hosts and you, and I would be like, Grindhouse movies, I've seen 4. Like, no idea what was going on for half that episode.
You can't help it sometimes. Sometimes you have to go completely with the flow.
But that was good. That
was like you on Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 when me and Abby are throwing Back to the Future references and you never seen it. And you're like, Doc Brown's fun.
Yeah. Old guy, time travel. What?
Am I right? I love the 80s. I just immediately I could tell there was a comedic styling there and a huge library of movies to pull from, and I was like, all right, so when I'm trying to form what the show will do and become as
like
we
now
carry
it's
on.
season 2.
Yeah, it's like the actual season 2. We've been calling it season 2 since,
So are we like the Danny DeVito of Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Oh,
like,
shit. That saved the show? Are you saying that it was going to die?
No, I'm not saying it's going to die. I'm just saying, the show is doing well, and all of a sudden, boom, they just throw Danny DeVito
that
on
obviously
it,
makes you Charlie.
I've always been Charlie.
My sweet D.
I can't read or write.
Mac,
it's fine.
I know Mac's gay, but like, am I really a Mac?
Oh, Dan, do we need a D who's just here but never says anything? Just
Charlie.
Shut up, bird.
Wow, calling out his fiance day one.
Shut up.
Wow.
Jared, if you were sticking around, you were totally a Dennis anyway.
Oh, that's true. I am a Dennis. Yeah.
I'm a golden god.
I'm fucking better. Like, oh god, gotta watch. Like, I think I stopped watching that, like season 5 or something.
No.
I know it's been on.
Oh my god.
Anywho,
right around those when Matt gets fat. Ooh,
yeah,
God.
exactly. That's when.
Because that's when they get self-aware and they just go back into their old episodes to pull from.
That's
like,
good.
So yeah.
Anywho, so we
it's
all
a haunted mansion.
Yeah. No, we all work together. This is a property that we're all very familiar with. We have our hands kind of in some of the stuff that happens for the Haunted Mansion holiday. So instead of doing
how
my
much
favorite,
can we actually talk about? Do you think? Like,
well, I mean, for us, there isn't much that we even do. For the most part, anything that's on the exterior,
we hand off to other people.
Yeah, but anything that's on the exterior of the mansion is anything that we would be responsible for our departments touching up or delivering.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't do anything really inside.
Yeah. I can tell you, fun fact, all of the assets for Haunted Mansion Holiday, all of the Nightmare Before Christmas stuff is stored in the mansion.
Yeah, we look at it on a daily basis.
Like,
yeah, don't ask us where that is and don't follow us, please.
No, but it's actually stored like in the attraction. All of the assets that are like pulled out and like put up, like all the characters and stuff inside the mansion, all of those stuff, it's stored in the mansion year round, which is insane.
Oh, you mean
to
when
me.
they take like the gravedigger away?
Yeah,
he's just stored.
But
that's,
no, even
that's
the Nightmare
interesting.
Before
He's not
Christmas
with
stuff,
us.
Even the Nightmare Before Christmas stuff, like
a couple.
No,
oh, you mean
I'm saying
everything else?
That's what I said. All of the external stuff is stored in our warehouse.
Us. That's
all of
right.
the stuff inside the mansion in the attraction is stored in it throughout the year.
Weird,
which
huh?
is crazy. Hella huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
With that, we decided a good first one for all of us to join on together, or I decided, I guess, since I picked the month of January.
Good choice, though.
The Haunted Mansion, 2003, Eddie Murphy. What a trip.
I mean,
yeah.
He was picking ride movies,
Experience.
and it was just like this and Tomorrowland? I don't know.
No.
I honestly loved Tomorrowland. I thought it was inventive. I thought it was because I thought that movie was going to be.
What is he playing? Old Man Clooney?
Yeah.
I'm still good looking, but I'm
Did you
not
see
Old
it?
Man Clooney.
No.
You never seen Tomorrowland?
I've never seen it, but
No?
I mean, I got the gist of it right there.
It's genuinely good.
It is kind of.
It's apparently it's
Yes.
good if you're
It's
not
super deep.
expecting it to be Tomorrowland.
Yeah, no, there is a scene where you'll be like, Space Mountain, and that's about it. Like
Yeah.
that is it.
Yeah.
What, Hugh Laurie is in it?
the monorail.
Yeah.
Hugh Laurie,
and that's
right?
it.
Yep. Yeah,
Like-
Hugh Laurie's the spoiler of
It looked interesting.
Everything else about it, other than like the kid going into the World's Fair Small World,
cool. That
and
was like
then
the cool part.
turned out to be a trapdoor into like another world and stuff.
Yeah.
That's the closest that you get to like actual on ride or inland kind of theming to connect the two.
Yeah.
Other than that, completely original story. And like, no, I would totally say check it out.
At first, when I heard about it, I was like, "Oh, this is just going to be like Disney, just like jerking off, just like, yeah, you liked our parks? Here's a movie about our parks."
Here's
but no,
the
it really,
Astro Orbiter.
yeah, it was really like, here's this like the basis, and here is some like super weird, deep movie that because of what you're expecting, the deepness doesn't necessarily work all the time because it's just kind of like. Oh, that's what we're saying.
It was a little too much because I saw that the marketing, they even released an entire full clip of the whole sequence of the protagonist being chased and then the whole...
you mean in his house where he's got the house of tricks?
Yeah, the whole house
yeah.
of tricks and he's like weirded out.
That
automaton.
sold me, honestly, though.
No, that did sell me, but then I'm always weary because they just did this with Aquaman. They released almost an entire clip of the movie too just to get you as interested as possible to come see the movie.
That won't help.
It's called Desperate.
That's why it goes either way. They're like, oh, we didn't think it was gonna go this way, so we're gonna give you as much as possible. So that makes you think twice. Maybe it is good, but maybe it's like this is the best clip, and then that's it, and it's all downhill from here.
Yeah.
Was he fighting Manta Ray? Because I feel like that's the only thing I want to see.
They were going like
the top heavy.
They were going
I can't deal with this.
They were going like full Assassin's Creed jumping, like rooftops and like Indiana Jones, Tintin sort of thing, and I was just like, wait, this is Aquaman, right?
Well, Assassin's Creed didn't work, so
yeah.
Poor Michael Fassbender.
And you know what's funny about Assassin's Creed is that like.
He's a Spaniard.
When we get a lot of films, like for this even, like I try to pick American films that don't have a lot of subtitles because, okay, we pirate a lot of things, but the way that people will rip a movie when it comes to like Blu-ray or something, the actual subtitle track is a completely different like overlaid track on a Blu-ray, right? So it never gets ripped when you right. So that if you choose Spanish or English, like it'll just be that one overlaid over top of it. So when somebody rips off of a Blu-ray or a DVD, they're only ripping the audio and video of the original thing. It's just kind of how it works. So in something like Assassin's Creed or another one was like Inglourious Bastards, like there was just like 30 minutes worth of being like, I don't know what's happening. Like, just in a completely another language. So, like, Assassin's Creed, I was watching it trying so hard to be like, well, I know the game, so, like, I guess I can get the general idea. But then there's, like, something that happened halfway through the movie where I was like, nope, we're done here. Like, I got nothing. So, it's so interesting to me when those kind of language barriers happen. Are we ready?
Yeah.
So the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah. No, first question I had for you guys, though, is like, all right, we talked about Tomorrowland, and we talked about Pirates of the Caribbean. Is there any other thing that Disney did that is based on a ride?
You mentioned Tower of Terror.
I have mentioned Tower of Terror before with Steve Gutenberg.
But that was a weird, like, in conjunction type thing.
Like the release of the ride, you mean?
The movie came out after
97.
the ride had come out, 3 years after the ride had come out.
In Florida.
In Florida, yes. And it was kind of like this weird, like, if you didn't get the story enough from the ride, here's another story we're going to tell
that is
That
modern.
That's modern.
No, wait. Was it in conjunction with a TV special, Rosie O'Donnell? I remember this because she had like a trench coat on, and if you don't know the mystery yet, this is how it goes.
Yes, that was the original release. Of
I'm
it.
gay.
Yeah. Hey man, she's at Bodine right now, telling me how they make bread. Okay.
Oh, shit. Is she still there?
She's still there.
She's like, I'm gonna go ride
I haven't
the bus.
gone in there in a long time.
You don't want free bread?
I mean, no.
I wouldn't ask Jerry because he can't. But I mean, come on.
My bad.
To answer your question, the only other thing that I can think of that's like coming out is the Jungle Cruise.
Is Rosie
movie.
O'Donnell.
The Jungle Cruise movie with the
Oh,
Rock.
you mean Jumanji 2?
Yeah.
Jumanji? No,
Yeah.
Jumanji 3.
Because they're actually making it too.
They already did. Oh, you're talking Jumanji 2.
Correct.
Okay.
Welcome to the jungle again.
Welcome to the jungle.
Oh, it's just Jumanji.
Jungle 2 Jungle. Jumanji
Tim
2.
Allen? Jungle to Jungle?
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my god. So we're so far away. The Haunted Mansion.
Yes, the Haunted Mansion.
So what's the chronological order of this? So first it's like the Tower of Terror, then Pirates, then Haunted Mansion.
I looked it up because
Well, first the Disney sing-alongs.
Well, okay.
We're not
So
going back.
Haunted Mansion was actually the movie was greenlit in 1980s.
Yeah.
So they were like,
Whoa.
yes, we're gonna make a movie for
Well,
it.
I feel like in any Disney IP scenario, the movie's like greenlit the day it comes out.
Yeah.
we
The
got to
ride
ride.
comes out.
We got to ride. We should make a movie of this.
Well, like Frozen was actually, it was planned to be the second Disney animated film after Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs came out. They were like, we want to do the Ice Princess or the Ice Queen,
Yeah.
and then it just
Wow.
was shelved continuously until they figured out how to actually properly tell the story.
Kind of.
And they
Yeah.
kind of figured it out.
No, and I had to look this up because I was like, man, was this movie really just trying to cash in on like the Pirates of the Caribbean doing well? And it's like, no, this came out a couple months after Pirates of the Caribbean.
yeah, so it's Thanksgiving, so it's November.
Wait,
so
no,
Pirates was,
no.
Yeah.
Pirates was in July.
I thought
Pirates was in July. It's
I
a summer
thought the
blockbuster.
first Pirates was in 2001.
No, 2003.
Yeah,
July.
It's back then when you still have your summer blockbuster, your Thanksgiving, and then your Dead Space after New Year's. But I even had to look it up myself because I was all like, which one was which?
So they were both in production at the
You're
same
right.
time,
Yeah.
where they didn't even know.
So they didn't even know like to be like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a hit because like obviously Pirates of the Caribbean did far better than this movie.
Well, so our opening scene, it gives us kind of the hints of the stories. It shows like a masquerade. It shows a clock striking 13, which like don't show a clock striking 13 if it's not actually going to happen in the movie or play to it. Like I get that it is a reference to the ride, but like maybe it's like, oh, in the witching hour from 12 to 13 is your only chance to win this thing.
Hey,
like I was trying to Madame Leota.
I know
with
that
the
that's
rhyme.
when Toby turns into a troll in Labyrinth.
But like that, like don't show things because this scene, this whole intro stuff is showing us like how there was a party and then the lady wrote a love letter, but then she killed herself with some poison, and then the guy even ended up hanging himself.
Yeah,
Like-
really dark start to a
and you
Disney
see
movie.
him hanging himself.
No, honestly, I was just talking to Jarrett earlier about this. It's like it has a whole Eyes Wide Shut sort of like snuff sort of feel.
Weird
to it,
orgy going
you
on.
know? And it's got like that Van Helsing, vampire, whole soiree
looks
going
very-
on.
He
Van
looks
Helsing.
like the
Right.
like Dracula from
Yeah.
Van Helsing. So I wrote in this moment. So like to give you a little background, sometimes like as I start a film that we're going to do, I start like just writing like the title in 2003, and like I'll start like writing some of the just formatting my notes, right? And then, like, as the credit sequence is going and I'm listening, and then I hear something like a glass break and like, oh no, right? Or something like that. I wrote, God damn it, credits. Now I have to rewind and actually pay attention because it's going to be
Yeah.
important to the
I had
film.
to
Yeah.
rewind the credits a few
Because the credits, it's so weird. There's this like huge complex story happening in the movie that is literally told to you in the first like minute and a half
way
in
through,
the
like,
credits.
gold tinted, like
Yeah.
foggy scenes that like come into view and then fade out of view,
And then
like,
kind of apply to the tarot cards that are being flipped around,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
are like
yeah.
the tarot cards from the Madame Leota room.
Yeah, and then I mean, being a huge fucking Haunted Mansion nerd. If anyone doesn't know me,
Hey, please don't cuss on this podcast.
oh shit,
I'm kidding.
This is a Christian podcast. I forgot.
Yeah, guys, I
This
don't
is for
know.
our Lord and Savior.
I don't think I can be a part of this anymore.
We talked about this briefly, but it takes a lot of the story points within the film are borrowed from Disneyland Paris's Haunted Mansion, the
Yep.
Phantom Manor, and the music in the beginning is the Phantom Manor music as
Okay,
well.
I didn't get to go
that's
on the Phantom Manor when I was in Paris, and I was kind of bummed because it was down. It had shut down for the
It
day
has
because
it has
something
a
broke.
rad
But-
score because it's not
Yeah.
like goofy and like the
It's
Haunted
very.
Mansion
It's
is.
much more serious.
It's
Right.
spooky.
I love it.
But it's also like, so this movie started off, and another thing that I wrote, I was like, God damn it, it's just like the opening of every night of Mickey's Halloween Party.
Yeah. I was like,
this is the track that they
I've
use.
heard this song too much. Like, I started getting mad, and
Yeah.
But the sad thing is, like, I also thought it was,
You're like, shut up.
I thought it was the intro from Hocus Pocus for the longest time.
I thought it was the intro to like Home Alone.
Right. So
It sounds like it.
we get through our scene. We eventually see a pointless scene. A little kid rides up on a bike, goes to the gate, and is like, "Man,
Yeah, what is
creepy
this?
house." And then like a haunted face flies towards him and is like, "Whoa!"
No, I got full mummy on that one.
Yeah.
Oh, the face in the sand?
the whole face. And
I
stuff
thought you were
like
gonna
that.
say I got a fully.
No, but it's just like what Jerry
That
said.
kid.
It's like I know that's a plot device. I was like, okay, so like this had to happen. This kid who got hired, he's probably making like a couple extra bucks on the side. He's passing out these flyers, and just because this kid happened to go there, this is the only reason the entire story is this pivots all
Right,
on this
yeah.
one kid.
It's all like this whole story. It's like the reason that they call the realtors because he
They
dropped
saw the
flyers.
pictures, yeah.
Which is like
Which
so
is-
stupid.
Also, when they're driving in,
So you're saying the ghost saw the flyer with the girl and was like, "There she
Forever,
is!"
yeah. No, but this is crazy. They're driving in, and holy shit, is that a long driveway? That kid rode that bike for miles
Yeah.
to be like, you know what? I think they could flip this house and just like drop their flyer off.
So
But also they call so basically they're just recreating the haunting.
yeah, we'll
Yes.
get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So then it flashes to Eddie Murphy trying to sell a house with that one actress that's always talking like this and mildly annoyed with everything that's around
Oh,
her.
the
very
wife.
pointed with her tiny glasses.
She's,
Ed
uh,
Helm's
like-
wife from The Hangover.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
she's
yeah,
in The
yeah.
Hangover.
She's a great actress, but
And-
she's always that
and-
character.
I think she's on Lucifer. She's the she's Lucifer's psychologist. in that, yeah.
Yes, I only watched parts of the first season.
Yeah,
but I think
yeah.
So?
She's in that.
I only watch
Yeah.
Christian programming. So.
is that David and Goliath? No, won't watch
which
it.
is
Davey.
another
Davey.
funny thing about this whole like who Eddie Murphy and his wife are is like, could they have picked a more boring fucking profession for a children's movie than be like,
Yeah.
we're real estate agents? It's like,
Well, even the
Okay.
How are they supposed to understand the
but-
concept?
but I
rules of
always
this?
feel like they have to tell you what the person's profession is right away for you to explain how they have so much free time. Either they're architects, they're real estate agents, there's some sort of salesperson that can have 3 hours
Well,
lunch
but
with
this is the thing,
someone.
Like
The
nobody's
whole-
just like, I'm a cashier at Sam's Club.
He's like, I can't leave. I only have a 30-minute break and 2 10-minute smoke breaks, okay?
But see, then like, there's no free time apparently because the whole movie's forcing it down our throats that like, oh, he's so into being a realtor. They sold 7 houses this year. I don't know how realty works. I'm not a realtologist.
Why does it seem it's a joint business
I know.
between them, but she's like, I don't.
And that's also what makes me mad.
No,
is
yeah.
like, so okay, Eddie Murphy gets a call from his wife,
Jim
and
Evers.
the Jim Evers.
Also,
Never,
he's
never.
doing this. He's doing this sale at like Trader Sam's.
no, that's
no,
exactly what I
we're
said.
not in that scene yet.
Wait, no, you did.
No,
No,
I said
no,
he
those
gets a
people
call
are
from
in
his
that
wife.
house.
God, stop
Oh,
steamrolling.
with the nerdy guy,
with
with
the
the
nerdy
guy
guy.
like,
Yeah.
doop-a-doo.
Like they're fighting about if they want the house, if there's enough outlets or not. And he gets a call from his wife, and she's like, "Hey, dinner at 7." And he's like, "Yeah, so you'll put in an offer." And
Yeah.
it seems like they've got like a good thing going. Like this sets it up for like, oh, they're good at their jobs. They know what the other's thinking without actually
Yeah.
talking about
They're
it.
like legal con
Yeah.
artists.
And he sells the house and he goes to Trader Sam's to like get the paperwork signed. And like these people are the most obnoxious couple to where he's literally like, I've got to meet my wife for our anniversary in 30 minutes. And they're like, let us buy you a drink.
The wackiest white people.
No,
Okay,
maybe
this-
maybe it was
this-
just me, but I got like a weird like they were trying to con him into some swinger things or something like that.
Yeah,
They were like,
it was very.
It was a
swinger.
couple.
yeah.
But also this
They're
guy.
like, put your keys in the bowl.
This guy, I mean, I've seen him before. I forget the actor's name.
Oh, the husband in
right?
that scene?
But he
Yeah.
just
No,
seems
I've
like
seen
the
him before,
90s.
yeah.
He seems like the 90s version of Rob Riggle. Like, yeah, huh? Bogus. I hate fucking Rob Riggle so much. Oh, man. And so... Yeah, they're in just Trader Sam's. They're clearly in Trader Sam's.
Yeah.
They even order, a volcano.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the next
Right?
movie coming out.
Volcano?
No, Trader Sam's.
Oh.
They're like,
I was like, oh, damn, we're doing Tommy Lee
Ahoa,
Jones?
Ahoa.
But then
I've never been to Trader Sam's in my
it's so
life.
good.
as he's
I love
leaving, that other couple's like
I
it's
heard you
really
sell houses, and
it's
he's
really
like,
hard to come by a real estate agent in this
I know.
world. It's like, yeah, I heard you sell houses, and he's like, oh, fuck my wife, I'm gonna make more money.
So yeah, he misses dinner, and then he comes home with a teddy bear with a watch on it, and she's like, she's British, so I guess that explains why she's such a bad actor or actress as
she's
an
dead in the
American.
face. She's really
She's
dead
like,
in the face.
You missed dinner again, and he's like, well, Teddy threw up and had an accident, and there's cotton everywhere, and I had to
he
clean it
shit
up,
and
which I
pissed
was
all
like,
over the car.
But all right.
yeah. And she's like,
Okay.
well, I forgive Teddy, and walks away. And I'm like, ooh, cold family. So then they decide to have a lake weekend, and they're like, ooh, how fun. And then they go, and they're like, we're going to tell the kids.
You missed
Oh.
like you missed the kids, the son just being like, this movie has a real like
Well,
hyper.
that's what I was getting at.
You said they went to the lake.
No, I said they
okay?
have a plan to go to the lake, and they're
Okay,
going
okay.
to tell the kids. And
Oh,
then
you
the
mean,
youngest
you
kid
mean-
is like,
you mean-
Dad.
You mean the plot from Click?
Yeah.
It's always a lake. I'm like, let's go to the lake. Let's go to the lake.
That's also grown-ups.
It's an easy
Yeah,
escape.
let's go to the lake.
No, but with that son,
And great
this movie
outdoors.
has like a really weird like hyper masculine like
Yeah,
thing for it, where
but-
it's like, come on, you little pussy, just kill the spider.
My thing is like we all have a fear of spiders. We get it. Make it a fear of insects, so it's not so like
Define
shoehorned as
fear.
like just. We just don't like spiders.
Oh, true. Okay.
Yeah,
I
like
love
people
spiders.
don't like.
I mean,
You're
it's-
disgusting.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
because
Psychopath.
I mean, yeah, true. The kid has its own like level of arachnophobia, but I understand what Jarrett's saying. It's like they're bugs. People can just be afraid of a bug.
Yeah, like if
and
a
that would
spider-
have played better instead of like later in the movie where it's like somehow spiders crawl out
Yeah,
of this
yeah.
part.
Like,
Like
I
I
don't-
make it a bunch of random bugs.
No,
If
you're
he's just
you're not
afraid
right.
of a
You're not
bug.
wrong. Like because even me, where I'm like, if I see a spider, like I don't really kill it. Like I don't
No,
kill it,
I
right?
ki- I
but I'm
kill it
like, get the
outside.
fuck off.
I'm a
Yeah.
No, that kid, like-
because the spiders are useful. When I see just
Right.
a cockroach, I just want to kill it. It does nothing.
Oh
you know?
yeah,
But no, when that
those
kid,
I'm more afraid of. Like I'm like, don't fucking touch me.
oh, dude, they can fly in the south too.
Yeah, they can. They can.
No, that kid lets out this scream that is like, oh my god, there's someone in my house killing my kid.
Which
And
you
it's
think
like,
is gonna come back like later, where it's like, oh, that's his scream.
Yeah.
and like he's done it so much that they're like, he's not in trouble.
Yeah,
you know,
no.
like something like that. No, that scream never comes back like
no,
that.
never.
Well, then the other girl walks in and she smashes the spider on the window and is like, "Grow up, bitch,"
Yeah, yeah.
and walks away. And they're like, well, "Okay, she's in charge of the house now.
Give her the keys.
She runs this shit."
Yeah.
But what's also funny, so the two kids, she's supposed to be 13, the little boy's supposed to be 10. He, in real life, during the filming of this, was a year older than her,
Oh shit.
Wow.
which is like, oh.
So they
Girls
have.
mature
I mean, but
faster.
it's like they have their whole father-son moment where it's like, "What'd you get my Sports Illustrated?"
Why you been jerking off in your
Oh,
room? Yeah.
I'm like, where are we gonna be going from that?
Let me teach
He's
you
all
now
like-
how to not tear the skin.
But then the kid just shrugs it off. What are you doing with it? I don't know. What do you mean, why are we playing around with it? Like, we don't know what's going on. Now kill that bug.
Yeah.
Well, that's the weird part.
Use her
because
boobies to smash it.
I'm not gonna get into it yet, but this movie likes to dance around very adult themes.
Yeah.
Or adult
Whoa,
references.
big knockers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got
Like
that
the
one,
Sports
yeah.
Illustrated, and then like the main
Plot point,
the
yeah.
reason why this all happens as well.
sex.
They like to dance around they're alluding to whatever it is.
Yeah.
But they don't even in a line like remotely get that close to the joke enough
Yeah.
for adults for it to land for adults, and I guarantee it did not play for children at all.
Well, that's
Like-
the thing. So, well, we'll get to the knockers.
No, but
joke.
I also wonder though, because it's like, did they run out of production costs for they spend so much time in the boys' room, and you get a feel of what the boys think.
It is decked out.
He's got science stuff. He's got stuff out, but then he's attributed to the arachnophobia. The only thing we see from the girl in the poster, if you just catch it quickly, it's like a Destiny's Child poster. That's all you get, and it's all like, well, and she's. I guess she's a badass.
She's just also super just underdeveloped in the movie. It's just like
in the whole movie.
Yeah, it's like, this is my daughter. She kicks ass.
She's like, man, I got no cell phone reception.
Yeah, it's just like
that's it.
And
millennials, right?
Yeah, and flip phones, guys, flip phones all around. Just flip phones for everybody in this movie.
Well, in 2003, they're like, I mean, the Razor was super popular then.
Yeah,
until it snapped when you opened it.
Right.
I never had one, but that was because I worked at a Singular back then. And
God.
There'd be so many people that would come in and be like, so I was like trying to answer a phone call and then this happened, and I'm like, yeah, that'll happen. Oh, well, what do I do? Do you have insurance? No. Well, another Razor is about $500. It's insane, right? But can I get the pink? That'll be $7. What about rose gold? $9. Serious.
Damn.
Yeah. Isn't that insane? Because like right now we have like iPhones that are like $9. Yeah. Right? So can I get an RAZR? Or how about a rocker? That has the first iTunes ever.
Oh god.
Yep.
Tangent
podcast.
Wife gets a phone call and it's like, would you come to our house? We're trying to sell it. And she's like,
is this the Haunted Mansion, right?
Yeah.
Spooky voice, is that you?
I'm sorry, are you a ghost house?
Guys, I'm just going to say it right now. Do they live in a world where Disney doesn't exist? And thus the Haunted Mansion ride does not exist?
Maybe.
I think so.
Well, they are in Louisiana, so, kind of behind on the times.
Yeah, but still, like, that's what I mean. I forgot to check if there's a single, like, oh, he's got Mickey Mouse on the bed or anything like that.
There's nothing. There's nothing that indicates that Disney's actually
a thing
within that world.
Right. It's almost in that same world of being like, do people in zombie movies have zombie movies?
Yeah.
Like, or are they just instinctively like, I tried the head and it worked.
This I don't think there's any like reference to like if this ride actually exists or anything like that.
No,
because that just came in my mind. It's not something that I had thought of earlier, but it just blew my mind where I was like, I might actually need to go back and watch this just for the sake of being like, oh shit, is this in some weird meta world where like they're like, hey, what's happening to us is very much like the Haunted Mansion.
Weird. I feel like we went on this on our last family vacation. So Eddie Murphy over here is like, no, we can take a house. We can just stop at the house. We can look at it. We can get something.
Knows that it's on the way to the lake before even knowing where the house is. He's like, no, it's on the way to the lake.
But also,
where is it?
Okay, the lake is a big circle around exactly
so this is
where
Louisiana. There is no lake that you actually want to go
like
to.
Swamp.
Yeah.
Bayou.
Yeah.
So then, they start driving. They get there. They're like, weird. It's locked.
The gate's locked.
And then, like, what's odd is the first 30 minutes of this movie, like, I paused the movie and it was about 35 minutes in and I was like, oh shit, that like flew by.
Yeah.
And then the next hour of it, I was like, oh, okay. Like, So once they get to the house is when it gets slow, which is like, that's when you want it to not be slow.
That's when it gets really weird.
Yeah.
It's like it starts off like that. It's like, okay, it's gonna, they put in their product placement, BMW, the car and everything like that. And then I just saw I'm sorry for saying that, but I didn't even know it was going to be based in Louisiana. I thought they were from another state.
I thought it was Florida because it looks like the Florida Haunted Mansion.
To go to Louisiana, and the only reason is because I see
or is it more?
It's because I see his license plate and it says Louisiana's motto, the Sportsman's Paradise.
I didn't even know.
So I was trying to even understand that motto.
I didn't know it was Louisiana till the end of the movie.
Yeah, when they're driving on that bridge out. Yeah. No, the weird thing that you were saying about like it doesn't even look like the Haunted Mansion. It actually doesn't even look like any of the Haunted Mansion.
No, it's like an
a
amalgamation.
Weird amalgamation of the one here in California.
But it has the greenhouse from Florida.
Yeah.
So they were intending for it to be exterior most like the Walt Disney World and the Disneyland Haunted Mansions.
Yeah, combination.
And then
Like
the
if they had a
story was going to
baby.
be the Phantom Manor from Disneyland Paris.
And they're like, we're in Mississippi.
Yeah.
We're in indiscriminate southern location.
Yeah.
It's just like-
I just waited for the True Blood intro to play. You know, when the kids are like, "We're in America," and I was like, "Yeah, somewhere in America." 'Cause, you know,
I'm gonna just start admitting when I don't know one of your references. I feel like
True Blood.
it's
you
better for
never
me.
even heard.
No, I never watched True Blood.
It's not
I
even that.
never-
It's like it's not even that. It's like every time you see now any kind of swamp,
Sure.
grayscale thing, all you hear is twangy guitars or banjo. that you could just
Almost
bang
like the
around.
Breaking Bad theme.
Yeah.
Bow, bow, bow,
Yeah, pretty much
bow.
like that. You know.
Yeah.
But then we get our aforementioned weird,
Knockers.
dirty joke
Yeah.
that literally gets crickets.
Yeah.
From the family,
Yeah.
from like anyone watching. He's like, nice knockers, or he's like huge knockers. And it's like,
Look at the size of them knockers.
yeah.
That's just stealing from Young Frankenstein.
Yeah.
That's all nice.
But
John
so then
Frankenstein
this
right
also, like, as I was watching this part, I was like, okay, cool, an adult joke. Maybe we'll get more throughout, like, the whole movie. And you really don't get any more adult humor than that.
No.
It's
Yeah.
kind
No.
of
I gotta go back-
because I was like, I just want... If they had taken that little extra step of, like, not blatantly saying dirty things, but doing it like, like Shrek does it. Or
Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
Toy
yeah,
Story
It's like,
does, or anything that
Like,
came after.
it would have been
you know?
so much better. A
Yeah,
good movie.
I gotta backtrack for a second. Okay, so one, I don't remember how they got in the gate.
The gate just opened.
just straight up
It literally
opened.
just
And they were not suspicious about this at all.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't understand why.
Two, there's a line that he says before that where he's like, "Oh no, I'll just climb over the gate and I'll figure out like who's inside and we'll go in."
like-
I was like, a black man in Louisiana should not be trespassing on any property.
But I also love that his wife is like, a fall like that, you'll splatter on the ground.
I'm like, that's not
I
what
was
you
like,
worry
no,
about.
yeah.
It's that shotgun that's literally coming
Especially
out.
when you said, "Yeah, I'll be coming alone," and then your whole family shows up. Yeah, then we get our, Mr.
The door opens
Also,
on its
who goes
own.
when somebody
They-
goes,
yeah.
"Come alone"?
Oh yeah.
Like if somebody needs to emphasize that, you're like, "Well, I'm bringing somebody else." Craigslist, and
And then we get introduced to just Mr. Creepy. Like,
Yeah.
that's really his like only thing. It's just like,
but this is
And everything I've seen him in, he just constantly looks like terrible,
like he
scary.
stuck a fork in an outlet and like got shocked and was
Yeah.
like, "That's
this
a good
is,
look."
This is also though the only extremely prominent reference of the Haunted Mansion, like the very first, like the motif, like dun, dun, dun,
Yeah. The
dun,
music plays
on an organ
as soon as they
right?
come in. Yeah.
It's like the only thing where you're like, oh, finally the fucking song,
Yeah.
like because and you don't really get it other than that, like in that form, right? Because the only other time you get like even anything close to like what you hear on the ride is when they sing Grim Grinning Ghost later, right?
yeah.
Which is also, god damn it, it's a part of Mickey's Halloween party, like that version of it too.
Yeah. So then, creepy master man, whatever he is, butler, he's like,
Master Man?
I don't know what his name is.
You mean General Zod? Terence
Yeah.
Stamp?
No,
Yeah.
it's Chancellor Valorum from Phantom Menace.
So,
Oh shit.
so he's like, he was
A vote of no
expecting-
confidence.
A vote of no confidence.
He was expecting
Also, it's like he's talking like
Queen Amidala.
he's like talking like he's recovering from a stroke.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
And I also actually did the racist Asian Nemoidian voice. Queen Amidala.
that's terrible.
So,
So was
he's
that.
like, he was expecting, it was a frightful night.
I was
monster
working
mash.
in the lab.
Yeah.
But it's like a little slowed
He's
down
doing that
version
the
of it.
whole
Yeah.
time.
And he's like, I guess we'll put extra places out at the table.
Acting like he's
to come alone.
So inconvenienced, and then they go in the ballroom, and there is so much food.
I'm going to have to move the Mickey ears place setting
Yeah.
for the hidden Mickey I made.
Would you like crayons for the children?
And then,
Arts and crafts made by Griffiths Printing. Sorry,
Like-
that was a super inside joke.
after this part, I kind of, like, they have
Also,
dinner.
shout out, thank you, Griffiths
They-
Printing, for making me.
What do they even talk about through dinner?
Just like he's like basically
Well, basically, there's a point where he's like, what do you want to do with the house? How do you want to sell the house, right? And,
go on the bathrooms.
Yeah, and he's like, do you believe in ghosts? Because they meet the head of the manor who's like, my grandfather owned this house and now I want to get rid of it because too many painful memories. And he's like, oh yeah, painful memories, right? And he goes, do you believe in ghosts? He's like, yeah, how about we not leave with the ghost? Right?
That is one of the only personally for me, one of the only jokes that lands well in this movie because that's actually
let's talk about
funny.
The bathroom.
Yeah,
how many bathrooms there are? That was funny. That
people
was
like a bathroom. Let's do the bathroom, right? And that's another thing about this film is that you got Eddie Murphy, and even Eddie Murphy is not being Eddie Murphy.
It's kind of sad. It's that's why you got him.
Yeah,
right.
You're not using him for his comedy,
right?
Yeah, for me, that's when the movie started becoming more. It's yeah, Eddie Murphy's way too much for this movie, and everybody in the cast is not gonna. It's like the kids didn't really react well off
all
of him.
Of the actors
everybody
in the movie are just okay, ghosts.
They are all literally
so
just going through the motions of the script as if this was the first reading.
Until I do feel though, until you get to Jennifer Tilly's performance, who's just she's fucking there.
Rocked it. I love Jennifer Tilly.
It's actually funny because it's Eddie Murphy's having more chemistry with Jennifer Tilly's CGI,
if
crystal
it was
head.
doesn't exist
the
there,
entire movie on a road trip. Oh, I would have loved it. He somehow finds a crystal ball, and then he's got to get it back to the haunted mansion.
Yeah,
yeah. I would see that.
Oh, that would be such a cute
Time to change your diaper, Joe.
Hold on. So what? The way she talks.
My God.
Oh, I love a good.
And then
Jennifer
what was
Till.
that guy's name?
J-Till.
Gracie, Master Gracie.
Master Gracie. Yeah.
Master when he comes in, he's offset in a corner somewhere. He's got this whole Keith Richards vibe that he's just did heroin. He came and was hey, how
there's another moment
hi,
in the film.
How y'all doing?
Later on, when Sarah comes to go see him, he's posed in a chair, and she thinks it's Eddie Murphy, and she's like, "Hey, honey," and he's like, "Oh, hey." It's just so weird. He's always almost as if. He's I'm an animatronic and I'm frozen because the ride's off. Oh, I'm on because there's guests. It's so weird.
They finish up, or they're going through the motions of dinner, I guess. And
I don't see anybody really eat.
No,
nobody ever
food.
eats at these very elaborate banquets and movies. It's they never touch anything.
That storm comes through and he's like,
oh, the roads are flooded.
And it's oh, fuck you, you weird creep. Get me out of here.
But also, this is where, so there's a weird thing that happens, right? There's a shot of Sarah, right? And she's doing this dialogue, and this is, they're about to get served dinner, and then, a chafing plate or something kind of, floats into frame. Did you see this?
No.
It just floats diagonally into frame, right? And then goes from behind her, and as soon as it starts making its way behind her, then you realize that Wallace Shawn playing the not the butler but the handyman, has been pushing this cart, right? But it's just this weird thing where they've just brought up Ghost in the conversation, and then this just serving dish kind of floats into frame without. You've never seen Wallace Shawn, who Wallace Shawn, for those of you who are unfamiliar, most famously I would say
Clueless.
Rex
Princess
the
Bride.
dinosaur.
Oh,
Princess Bride.
Princess Bride.
Princess
Yeah,
Bride.
Rex the dinosaur,
And
right, in
Clueless.
Toy
The
Story.
teacher in Clueless that they set up.
Yeah, where's my tail?
Oh, Vegas Vacation.
Okay.
He's the dealer. He's the dealer. Hey, Chris, well, why not just take your money and kick your balls outside the alley?
yeah. Where is it rock paper scissors? He's
Yeah,
doing, or
rock,
1, 2, 3 or something?
Yeah, and they introduced those guys, which
It was a weird way to segue other cast members, and I know they're supposed to be ghosts, but these aren't so
Cast
unknown
members?
people. It's
Like us?
no, yeah, and then these ghosts oh god, it pisses me off the ghost logic in this movie. They just literally live by their own rules.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the movie would have benefited a lot more if it wasn't just these two ghosts helping him out.
Yeah.
If it was
as if the
a cast
entire
of
house was like
1,000
Beauty and the
ghosts.
Beast, full
yeah,
of
they just keep
and
popping in and out, and that would have made it good.
They treat it like it's a live-in hotel, even
Yeah.
like anything, right? Because that's another thing is that like when you
could have made
finally
it kind
get
of star-studded. Like,
when you finally get to see all the other iconic ghosts that you remember from the ride,
in the
they're just
graveyard
like
for,
all outside.
background.
Like we're not allowed in the house.
Yeah.
Like they're pets.
Yeah. No. So then they go to the bedrooms. They're like, "Oh, here's your bedrooms," and the kids go up there, and they see that like floaty thing.
They call it like
The
ghost
orb.
orb.
Ghost orb. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a ghost orb, which I was like,
No,
basic of a
but
naming.
you know what I thought it's like we were just watching Brave. I'm all like, are they did they take
It's the Will-O-Wisps.
It's the Will-O-Wisps. I'm all like, what?
Me and Vicente were watching Brave in a break room the other day, and I started crying.
He started crying.
I still haven't seen that movie.
It's really sad at the end. It's so touching.
Just brave note. Have you seen No Country for Old Men?
Yeah.
You know that Llewellyn's wife is the voice of Merida?
Oh.
From Boardwalk Empire too.
Yeah. She's super Scottish, apparently.
Yeah. Super.
So I want to bring up for a second here set decoration.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and why is the interior of this like seems like it was done in the style of like the underground cabins portion of like Pirates of the Caribbean with just drapes that are just kind of thrown anywhere
It's
you
weird.
want them.
And the drapes have like ropes going across them, like tying nothing.
Oh, you're talking like when they're coming down the stairs and you can
all
like,
that
see
kind
it,
of
like,
stuff
up
in
and-
the bedrooms
Yeah,
are like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like
it's odd.
it is like, and the only reference, and I know it's going to be lost on
BDSM
everyone.
mansion.
It's going to be lost kind of on everyone other than us, but like it's like how they tell us to decorate Pirates Wharf.
Oh,
It's like just hang it up, just throw it over there, and if it doesn't fall down, we're happy.
No, because I see the outside and I'm like, okay, what am I gonna see? Because even in the Addams Family, the outside and then you see the inside, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It goes with the inside and the outside. The moment you walk in, it's like, was somebody squatting in here? There's like random rugs.
Yep.
Was there like
even
a
whenever
gypsy thing?
they show like at one point Sarah runs out to see like the front entrance area because she can't find her husband because he's gone off to talk to someone.
Yeah,
the
they get into a
butler.
fight.
Yeah, she's
about,
like, oh.
So
like,
she sees
yeah.
the maid and she's like, "Wait, where's my husband?" And the maid just runs away instead of being like, "I think downstairs." And
Yeah,
then
she's like,
walking away.
just like
Yeah.
fucks off.
Yeah,
and there's no real reason for her to run away.
No.
She goes
They'd
and
be
she
like,
basically
"Oh, that
gets,
bitch was mean to me."
She gets to the front lobby and you see just like a ton of like 10 by 12 rugs, but just like layered on top of each other.
Yeah,
so it's like, what is that design? What is that choice?
Sarah is the only, and I think they only.
Sarah's the wife, by the way.
She shoehorns only one reference for anybody to even try to make sense. It's like, oh no, I can see the Renaissance influence and the Italian crown molding and everything like that. I was like, okay, I studied some of that. Yeah, I can see it, but this house is pretty gross. It's not even Liberace like glam.
And
it is just.
Don't bring him into this.
No, it's just like a mishmash of things, and I don't know if you have like a central like. Like a library or a den like that, why would you have like a traveling circus drape to come into that room? Can't you have a decent door to come into your study?
And then even Master Gracie, is like, many a wonderful ball and party has been here. I was like, where? Like, exactly where in this shitty place? Because like when you died, like. Spoiler alert, Master Gracie's dead because
you see him hang himself at the start of the movie. So
yeah.
they better know at that point.
Right. Well, it could have been anything.
Well, no, he's wearing a mask.
Not when he hangs
not when he's
himself.
not when he's
do you
hanging
see his
himself.
face? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, if we didn't make that clear, Master Gracie, the lead like ghost of this film and the owner of the mansion itself, is supposed to be the hanging ghost that you see in the stretching room.
So nothing.
Where the fuck's the stretching room in this movie?
You're telling me.
Listen.
Tyler has
nothing-
stretching room tattoo.
He has a painting from the stretching room.
Right,
He
the
doesn't have
alligator
stretching
one.
room.
I have the full stretching room
Yeah.
tattooed on my arm.
All
So,
six.
It's the
Just
diagram.
Yeah,
The
like,
movie even
my
says
arm
like,
stretches and it's
in the facts of it, it's just like it takes some image look-alike scenes and puts them in the movie. It's not like they're trying to actually do the attraction.
Well,
so
that's
where it's
right,
like,
but I feel like the stretching room is one of the most iconic things.
Well,
It's
this
like
is-
yeah.
stretching room, It's like stretching room, graveyard, and give me one more. That
The
is
wallpaper, which
There was
Okay.
two things. There
Tyler's
was
like, just say it and then move on.
there was two things. There was the hall with the candelabra thing, and then there was
Sure.
the hall with the paintings and the turning bus.
Yeah.
But that was it. That
no,
was
so
really
see,
it.
so this is what was so weird. I was trying to get to was so Eddie Murphy accidentally goes down that.
on somebody.
That may be true.
Later.
So he goes through that secret room and ends up in that like hallway, which is all of
Painting with eyes.
the painting with eyes, the purple and black wallpaper from the ride.
but it's like average
literally
wallpaper,
only half
and then
a
it
room.
changes like in as he turns a
The
corner.
busts that turn their head.
Yeah.
And then he finds Madame Leota. And this is like one of my main gripes with the movie is like, it is such a weird movie that so wants to be so involved in the ride and be like, remember this from the ride? Remember this from the ride?
Yeah,
remember this from
I call it fan jobs.
Yeah, and then literally have nothing to do with the ride
just jacking you off.
simultaneously.
Yeah.
Because it's just like,
Well,
oh
it's
yeah,
like
this is what you came for, all right?
the sequence
you losers.
Oh, the knocking doors too. That's
yeah,
in there.
he walks on the doors like,
So the
Oh,
sequence
the breathing door, but
Yeah.
then there's also knocking doors later.
yeah.
The sequence of Eddie Murphy going down the hallway and then having the bus turn and all that stuff. It's like the very first scenes going into the actual attraction. It's some of the first
Yeah,
scenes
and that's
to
what's
get to
like-
Madame Leota and
Yeah.
then like everything starts happening kind of. So then he does get to Madame Leota and she's like,
Doesn't he actually, I believe, not even say anything that Madame Leota says in the ride?
I don't think she says a single thing that's
Yeah.
like from beyond.
I think
anything like
whenever
that. She just becomes Dr. Seuss.
before before he walks in, or like as he's walking in, she's kind of doing her own thing, and I think that's where some of those lines are, and then
Yeah.
she just starts playing to like what his journey is.
I also want to be clear that like we're describing this, right? And any of you who are lost and think like, oh, they must have skipped something. No, we didn't.
Yeah, this movie literally
so
progresses
simultaneously
weird.
during this, the kids are following their will-o-wisp, their blue orb,
Yeah.
their ghost host to the attic, and so they go up in the attic and they find a painting, and it looks just like their mom.
And the
They're
kid,
like,
if you didn't know,
"Shoot."
if you didn't get that from the shot of looking at it, the son goes, "That looks like mom."
Yeah.
Thanks.
But also, are they not just basically like recreating the Sleeping Beauty, like going up to the like spinning wheel, like with following this orb just upstairs, and they're like kind of like not saying anything, hypnotized by it?
Yeah.
Well, what I'm also trying to say, is that I thought the first time that I saw this, I thought the elevator, that was going to be the stretching elevator, which it wasn't. And then
when Eddie Murphy goes into the chamber?
No, when the kids.
The kids go in an
Yeah,
elevator.
when they go into
That's
I
right.
thought it was going to be that. But then I
worked.
thought, okay, well, they're going to the attic. Okay, they're going to see the bride.
Well, they have
You
like
know,
the wedding
They
dress.
see the wedding dress
yeah.
there, which is like a very subtle like.
That's way too subtle. It's like
Yeah.
knocking you over the head on the ride, just
Yeah.
like, but
They could have put like
it's
a
the most-
dollhouse.
it's
They
my-
could have put an axe. They
It's
could've-
my
yeah.
least favorite effect in the entire ride.
Oh, it's bad.
The bride.
Yeah,
The
it's
projection
terrible.
The
bride.
projection bride is
Beating heart bride all the way.
awful.
I remember the beat. That gave me nightmares.
See,
as
I've
a
never
kid.
seen it.
No, that
Oh, yeah,
gave me
'cause you
that
haven't
was
been here.
Right.
That was traumatic. See something like that. You say,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's Disney," and then you walk into that, you're like, "Oh, okay, that's pretty real."
I just know that projection bride is like hands down like there are some things in any of the rides where I'm like that hands down to me though takes me out of the entire ride every single time I
Ugly.
see it.
It's so bad.
It's pretty.
But
bad.
then you see the hat
Awful.
box ghost next, and you're like, I'm back.
Kind
well,
of.
Hatbox is so cartoony compared to the rest
He
of
looks
the
too
attraction.
new. They should have aged
Yeah.
him more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
So then we get introduced kind of to
What's
the
the
two
new
assistants.
Oh, it's Sally. Sorry, that's not.
Yeah.
No.
The two assistants, and they like the
And
kids
then-
find out they're ghosts, but like, so they're trying to talk to him, and they're like, "You gotta help!" Like, the exposition.
Yeah.
Like,
the curse.
yeah, like there's a curse, and
Want some
honestly, like,
cookies?
it's such a shitty setup for this curse.
How do
Like,
ghosts bake? That's what.
Yeah, I
don't
know. No, and this
they
goes back.
smoke a lot of weed. They get baked.
This goes back again to the weird like ghost physics of this movie. It's like now they're flowy and like.
Tyler, I don't know how many past episodes you've listened to, but like ghost rules and ghost physics when it
Ghost
comes to
law.
this show Yeah, I don't know ghost law. I know bird law. I just don't know ghost law.
No, and it's like I feel they have like total upkeep of the house. They gotta bake. They don't
have upkeep of the house. It's dirty as fuck.
But no, I know what you're gonna say. It's like in movies,
every single.
It's just like there's no rules for ghosts.
There's no consistency. I will write a petition that says like we need ghost consistency.
So
yeah.
We
have a very specific level of bullshit, and yours doesn't apply to ours.
Again,
dollar reference.
Like I said earlier, being a huge Haunted Mansion nerd, they introduced themselves the two people, and it's Emma. Right? Is that her name? Emma, the girl one?
Yeah.
And Ezra. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, what the fuck?
You're correct.
No. Again, it's like, how are you trying so hard to get your source material correct, but getting it wrong? Because if you don't know, the hitchhiking ghost with the skeleton face and the bowler hat's name is Ezra. So it's like, how are you fucking up this bad?
They did intend for the three hitchhiking ghosts to be... They intended for them to be actual characters in the plot, but then they thought that was too many supporting characters to where they got, like, they were supposed to always be there making side comments, which would have actually helped because this movie doesn't have
Waldorf
side
and
comments.
Statler, what's this shit?
It doesn't have side comments. It's very much just like plot. Like, no one actually just, like, talks about something off to the side.
We're dead,
like,
just like this movie. Oh.
And so, so they did cut them. So maybe they just pushed the name over. But then what's also weird is whenever they bust the chariot out of the house, which
there's always my way.
What?
Yeah. Then he drops like the only line,
and then he kills them.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, first the hearse, and second, there's horses. Now there's skeleton horses.
So, okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So, flashback, the kids, they're in the attic, and the evil butler, you don't know he's evil yet. So, evil butler comes upstairs, and the kids hide, and he's talking to the two ghost hosts, and he's like, I hope the kids aren't up here, and if they are, we need to kill them. And they're like,
I just spent an hour with that stupid motherfucker. like I'm like, you can just say the N-word, because that's what you're going for, buddy.
If I had to hear, I was going to burst. What, smoke? Right? You're dead. You're dead, man.
So then Eddie Murphy, he's talking with Madame Leota, and her rhymes actually aren't that good. Where she's like, "Find the key to end the theme." Like, what's the shitty line? She's like, she's talking about the key.
Yeah, find the key to
the thing. To keep you from being dead must be red, and you're like, R-E-A-D or R-E-D? Oh, both actually, because it's like a red envelope that
it's something like. Find the key to be found, and then you'll know how to reach the ground. Like, it's this weird, like, find it, but also get it found.
God damn it, I hate escape rooms.
Yeah. But then Eddie Murphy gets back to his kids, right?
And so the instruments chase him.
Yeah, and he's like, I just got chased by a marching band. Yeah. And he gets back to his kids, and then I understand that he's out of the loop, but god damn it, we don't have to hear the exposition again, because they're like, yeah, Dad, there's a curse, even though we literally just heard that told to them.
And he's like, hey, what a curse?
and that's when I understood, like, it's a very dated thing. He's like, who's trying to get jiggy with my wife? I'm like, jiggy. I'm all like, yep, 2003. Yeah. You got to throw that in.
This is whenever we do have our chariot.
Gotta fuck my wife.
It's a hearse that is inside the mansion.
In the attic, mind you, because that's where they bust out of.
It's the hearse from the front of the line queue.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is never in. There are no stables.
Nor does it
in the house.
Nor does it have a skeleton horse attached to it. I was like, is this Harry Potter?
And that's the gag. That's the gag on the actual ride, that it's a ghost. It's a ghost horse. They couldn't even do CGI ghost horse. They went full skeleton.
When you're in the queue, you can hear. It's very rare, but you can hear the horse noise. Yeah.
This. Okay. I'm just going to put it out there now as we're halfway through the movie. This movie, to me, felt like it was written by some first-time park attendants. Like, the people that went to the park for the first time and then, like, literally took a survey on their way out And the last question is, would you like to write the Haunted Mansion movie?
I
And they
would
were like,
think
I
it was-
guess.
Oh well.
Dude, someone that like
Well, yeah. I
had
would.
a kid but wasn't paying attention during the attraction and was like playing on their phone or taking photos, and you're like, no flash. I yell at people on that attraction. I was like,
all the time.
No flash.
Or like a couple where the girl was going down on the guy and
And she was, they're like, what did you
and
hear?
then
And she's
spit
like,
out right before
yeah.
the graveyard because that's where they find them.
Oh.
Yeah, so then you see
Or was written by that child molester that they caught.
what?
You don't know about that one?
Shit, that's
Whoa.
dark.
Yeah, it's very dark.
off the
but
air.
yeah.
No, yeah. So then they go through the.
Yeah, this is when you see all of the ghosts that have ever been in the
literal,
attraction.
like, oh, yeah. Just
No, and it's
everyone
like
jerking everyone.
they had to with Eddie Murphy and his kids traveling inside the hearse. That was the only way to make it a like viewer vehicle. That
It
way
was-
you were
yeah,
back
yeah,
on
yeah.
the
That was
ride.
the only way that they could do the hitchhiking reference.
Yeah. One of the hitchhiking ghosts played by the guy who plays the Oompa Loompas and the Tim Burton
That was-
Charlie the Chocolate
Why was
Factory.
he so? I don't remember that ghost being so tiny, and then he
also
walks
says-
around, and I'm like,
But
whoa.
But also, why wasn't this like if there was going to be such a small part? Why wasn't this just an opportunity for
Boom,
like
boom.
solid? No, yeah, but like, why wasn't this just an opportunity for like a really solid 3-person cameo? You know?
Yeah, like-
why wasn't it just like Chevy Chase and Martin Short and Steve Martin from like Three
Kinda like-
Amigos? Just literally,
yeah,
Kind
Could've
of
been
like
them.
what,
It
what
could've been them,
Disney
yeah.
did a few
Yeah.
years ago with that ad campaign where they were advertising for the parks and they were putting like actual like well-known like A-list actors
Express
and
your
actresses.
Disney side.
Yeah, there was like the one of like Jessica Chastain as Merida, and then there was 3 people who did
Beyonce,
Oh, yeah,
as,
Beyonce as Alice.
in
Yes,
Wonderland.
yes, and then there was 3 guys. One of them was Jason
Oh, yeah, I
Segel
do remember. Yeah,
as
yeah,
the
yeah.
hitchhiking ghosts, and it's like you totally could have thrown in some really cool like thing, and the cameo in that scene that's really dumb. And if you didn't read the trivia, you won't know is that the singing busts are voiced by the current at the time cast of the Dapper
Dan.
Dan.
Dapper Dans.
Oh, I just thought it was Bare Naked Ladies.
Yeah, it's beyond
Because they just like do everything.
It's been
80 years since I was alive.
we're only known for doing the Big Bang Theory theme song.
Wait, but they do one that it always plays during Mickey's Halloween party, don't they? They do. Or do I just think that this... I think the Grim Grinning Ghost during... It sounds like Ed
What
from
do you
Bare Naked
say?
Lady.
You okay? You smell toast?
I'm dead.
I think
figure.
naked lady.
You guys, get used to it.
But it's like I just see the whole all the ghosts and stuff like that, and it just
And
seems
this
like
is this. It's the scene to make references.
Yeah,
and that's what it was used
I
for.
felt like okay, the
So what do you-
Ezra and Emma
Right.
had their ghost, like whatever.
Yeah, their
this
head
He was a
get-
top
yeah.
hat.
You know,
he
the
was
whole
a-
thing and
she
stuff
was
like
a
that.
maid.
See, this is-
I just felt that the ghost extras that became, they had like, it was like I went to a glow in the dark convention.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like way too much for them. They were too much of a ghost, while Ezra and Emma were like just subtle ghosts. I mean, if that makes sense from what you're watching it.
Well, this is also where Ezra, he's got like a top hat and his mutton chops look extra fluffy. And
Yeah.
I thought they would like, it looks like they're making him look like the Hatbox Ghost.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like a very clear reference to that, but it wasn't anywhere in like the facts and trivia.
So they burst out of the house with this, like, skeleton drawn hearse with Eddie Murphy and his 2 kids in the back, right? The hitchhiking ghosts literally show up in the back for like
Pop
a
in, they're
split
like,
second.
Hello.
Like, and they're like, ah! And then that's
Like,
it.
they can't see us. And he's like, I'm talking to you right now. And he's like, he still can't see us.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, man, what are you talking about? I see the ghost.
Yeah, it was a really dumb joke.
Yeah, it's like because it's literally just a play on the fact that like you can or cannot see the mirror image of the hitchhiking ghost in the ride.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't play like what, right?
And then
Basically the hearse rides into the cemetery, which the cemetery established prior to this just seemed like it went on for ages. It was like oh, what a
It was
nice
enormous.
green screen like
Yeah.
mat job.
Yeah, it was enormous.
And I was just like, what is this house? Because that was another question I had. And even when you look at like the Haunted Mansion as a ride, you're like, is it a morgue? Is it like a funeral parlor? Because what house has a cemetery in their backyard? A church might.
it was a house built for ghosts.
Yeah. It's just a portal into.
I think it was something.
That's what that's
a
what Walt said,
long time ago, where graveyards weren't exactly everything.
Okay.
Where like if you did have an establishment that was kind of far away, yeah, you would just have a graveyard like near, but you wouldn't have it like.
But in your
our
backyard.
graveyard got so full that it's no longer an acre away; it's all of the acres.
So, because this was my other question, and I guess it kind of gets explained that it's just like, oh, they're all just ghosts from the graveyard. But like for me, I feel like somewhere along the line, throughout the years at least, that when it comes to the ride, most of like the Imagineers themselves have probably written a backstory for all 999 ghosts that have died.
Yeah.
You know, somewhere somebody has.
Yeah, I probably believe
right?
that. Yeah.
And we get none of them.
No.
Like, they're not important. You don't see them. You see the painting, 1, 2, 3, shoot, the dueling ghosts.
Yeah.
You see a bunch of ballroom dancers, but they're not in the ballroom.
No, not yet.
In a flashback,
Yeah.
when they were alive.
And then,
but you don't want to see that. You want to see
get
them because that's another the ballroom scene. That's another iconic. There's that toast again. Iconic piece. I would say of like
that's
of
my
the
favorite
ride.
part of the ride.
Yeah,
that's my favorite.
Yeah,
part.
I love that
disguised
the Pepper's ghost effect
as a spider
web.
Yeah,
that's my favorite part.
Because you even get the organ player because I'd say Ezra is more the organ player because he actually is the organ player than anything else.
That's
right?
That's who he looks like.
Yeah.
Now it's just like the tiny is stuck in my head.
But so you get all these references, including now the singing statues that make no goddamn sense.
They literally just are mimicking what they're like. Could you guys stop singing? We could stop singing soon.
Yeah, this is okay. I wrote.
That was
I
really
wrote,
good.
I
Sorry.
wrote down this. So they encounter. They encounter actually 4 of the 5 singing statues because the broken head one is not there.
Yeah,
and I don't know why. Like,
but the face of the broken
that would have been a good joke
is there, which is really weird,
right?
And that's the guy people always mistake for Walt Disney, but it's actually
Thurl Ravenscroft.
Yeah.
Also,
Thurl, I love his
you
name.
might have a
Thurl
chance.
Ravenscroft,
the guy who voiced Tony the Tiger. If you did not know that,
I mean, it might be in this graveyard scene, but like you actually have a chance to like throw in like a ghost that looks like Walt, even and they just didn't, Like I at this point in a movie that's so ridiculous and you've already gone too far, why not just go that far?
When your head is frozen, you can't be.
I was just gonna say he's walking around like a cryopod.
Yeah.
Oh, is that why people think he's the broken head? So this what I wrote here is so they encounter the singing statues, right? And they're singing Grim Grinning Ghost, and then as Eddie Murphy is trying to talk to them, he's like, hey, they know which way the morgue is, right? Like, and they're like, the morgue. Like, I don't know, right? They're doing the same thing that my goddamn father has done for years. Like, I'd be like, oh man, good morning, Daddy. He'd be like, good morning, like as he's making breakfast. And I'm like,
and you.
Yeah. I'll be like, or I'll be like, hey, Dad, do you? And it'll be like, do you believe in love? And I'll be like, stop it. Like, I hate you so much. Yeah, right? He would do that for anything, right? Yeah. Like, I'd be like, hey, Dad, I want to. And he'd be like, I want to break free. And I'd be like, I hate you. And this is what they do every single time, like Eddie Murphy.
Even when they abduct them from the mansion.
I don't know. We'll get there. I don't understand what the hell that is.
Yeah, but it's such a weird scene because he like keeps asking them questions about like what he's supposed to be doing, and then gets there himself because he's like, "Yeah, the mausoleum." And they're like, whatever, fuck. Whatever.
Yeah.
And then he's like, no, like the mausoleum, it's near here. And they're like, near the river. And he's like, no, it's the mausoleum near the river down by the
light of the silvery moon.
Yeah, and he's like, no, it's the mausoleum down the river by, and he's like, gets it. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. And he like leaves and they're like, whoa. It's like, keep singing. It's just like, God.
Yeah. Right? So, they sing Beyonce. It's weird.
I honestly think they were more like just for the marketing for the trailer.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that was where they were more effective because when you actually put them in play in the movie, it's just like
bad.
I've already seen bad parts of this movie. This is just ridiculous.
No,
This
it's
is
just more of that, like,
unnecessary.
this is what you came here for.
You would at least want to see like maybe 4 ghosts like fly into the statues and possess them, maybe at least.
Or them come to life or something.
Something.
But not just be like, I am alive right now.
We are sentient statues.
What's up?
So then they get into the mausoleum.
I like that one
and-
statue.
What one statue?
I was setting you up, but that's fine. Anyway.
No, and then they get to the mausoleum, and his daughter is just like, starts spouting off Latin. And she's like, you would know that, Dad. It's like, we don't know anything about you that other than you killed a spider and you have no cell reception.
Nothing.
Spiders speak Latin, Dad.
She's all
You would
like,
know that
"Oh,
if
well,
you
you
didn't
told me
kill
not-
them all."
You told me not to learn Latin." I'm all like, you know what? If you would have told me you learned it maybe at like Sunday school or something, that'd be a little. Even I'd stretch my imagination that you would. But how old is she supposed to be, Jarrett?
13.
A 13-year-old girl taking the time to, or just any student at that time,
To learn a dead language.
To learn, and then to have the recall in a stressful situation, surrounded by ghosts. Oh yeah, that's what it says. That's what it says right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's real smart.
And this scene just fucking sucks.
I only like this scene
awful.
because
It felt like
the
the Mummy.
skeletons look amazing.
Well, this is Rick Baker.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's Rick
Yeah.
Baker. It's like
and he is fascinating to talk to. By the way, I met Rick Baker at a what was that? It's not. Is it Face Off, the makeup show?
Yes.
Like special effects.
Yeah.
So they were doing. This is actually a funny side tangent for me. Well, now it's not going to be because I set it up that way, which I've been made fun of before by doing that. But I was hired to DJ a party. Right? Had no idea what it was just like my friend booked it and was like, "Hey, I can't do it, but I've already like set you up with the gig. All you got to do is contact her and say yes and set your price." Right? And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I did, and it was like pretty much over like email or text, right? And because I was like, "Can I call?" And she was like, "I'm sorry, I can't call. Like I'm always busy." Like she could never answer the phone. So I was just like, "All right, well, confirmed, right?" And I get there, right? And it's like a house in the hills, like directly across from Universal, and it's like gorgeous, and it has this big backyard, right? And I roll in my equipment, and there's another DJ setting up, right?
ooh, DJ battle.
Was it a DJ off?
Right.
Was it like a
And
Like Scott Pilgrim.
and
Casino Royale?
and I was like, hey, and because he was like kind of breaking down something. I was like, was there like another party at this party and you're breaking down? He goes, oh no, I'm setting up. I just had to like sit and like bring this light back down. And I was just like, what is going on? I'm the DJ, right? And he goes, no, sir, I'm the DJ, right?
No, sir.
Right?
Wow.
And I was like, who is your contact? And he was like, Martha. And I was like, mine's Martha too. And I was like, what is going on? And he got here first, basically. And so like we both go to her and we're like, hey, I'm Jonathan. She goes, oh, I forgot to call you. Like I booked him too, and he was cheaper, right? And I was like, wait, what? And she was like, yeah, so like for your time, I'll give you like half what I agreed. I totally just forgot to call you and say cancel it, right? And what it turned out to be was like she was the judge on Face Off, right? And everybody in the room was like special effects artist wizards, and she was like, stay, party with us, hang out, because I feel so bad. And she sat me at the table with Rick Baker, right? And I immediately was like, ponytail, white hair, I know this guy, right? And the people around him are like, have you met Rick? Oh my god, Rick's amazing. And everybody's treating him like, I should know who he is. And I'm like, Rick, right? And finally he was like, yeah, when I was working on Terminator. And I was like, what? and literally he just sat there and told me stories like of the different movies he was on, and what a fascinating, amazing person that like it was one of those weird scenarios where it was like, I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe what should have been a negative experience of being like, yeah, get the hell out of here, kid. Like she literally could have been like, yeah, I forgot, and sorry, get lost, right? Because there's no contract signed,
Yeah.
right? And to have that kind of experience and to hear the stories that I did, I will tell you what, I don't care if this movie sucks. Like that work, what you were saying, you love the
so good,
right?
I want one. I want a skeleton mask.
Well, he always gives 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like that scene. I mean, it's like, and then that's again like for me when they went down that mausoleum, then it turns into a different movie again. It was like
it turns into National Treasure.
That's why I hate this scene so much.
Interview with the Vampire. It's like completely out of context. It's like I think like like Antonio Banderas is gonna show up there and he's gonna be like, I've been waiting. Oh, wrong movie. I'm in the wrong movie.
But this scene,
like that.
This scene is so weird. It just like it literally like happens, and then it's as if the scene happens. All these beautiful like skeleton zombies come out,
like a full Thriller thing going on.
Yeah.
Which
and
I mean, that's not in the ride at all.
Yeah,
too.
no.
So
Exactly.
It's another thing
like
where you're just like
the breaking out of the coffin is
the
like
hand
for a second,
and
then
the hand rising the coffin lid.
But my favorite thing is like it's as if the movie all of a sudden just looked at their watch and was like, "Oh, oops, we got a movie to finish here." They're like,
well, so
we need to wake up people.
Have you
right
guys
now.
seen any action in this yet? No. All right, go ahead and throw that in.
Also, as a consenting parent, go get the key in the moat
send
of
your
dead
daughter in like
people.
the death water.
Open your eyes in water that bodies have been rotting in for hundreds of years.
She's like, I don't want to do this. Okay, I'm dead.
Yeah. And she gets the key, and then they get locked in, and then spiders all over the door, like you were talking about. Just like
and the kid has to overcome his fear of spiders, and 5 seconds later he does. Great job.
he's
Cool.
like, spiders.
Yeah.
Just opens the door.
And they go back up to the house, and like you said, like they were like, "Whoa, God, time limits."
Yeah.
And it's like kids get locked in a crate, dad gets thrown out a window.
We haven't really said what's happening to Sarah throughout all this.
Fucking
die.
We haven't really said what's happening to Sarah through all this.
All I see
She
from
got put
Sarah,
in a dress.
All I see from Sarah is like I'm trying to decide whether she's under his spell, whatever ghost magic he has.
She's just going along with everything that's being told to her.
Or she's completely enthralled by the story, like, that's a nice story, sir. I'm just humoring you because you're my client.
No, I think she's just like, she is like in the sale. She is just like there. She is like, this is a sale. I got to do whatever I can. Do I have to sleep with this creepy man? We're going to sell this house. Like
he puts out his elbow. Come on.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's just walk around this empty house without your husband.
But no, yeah, Eddie Murphy gets thrown out of a window, should be fucking dead.
Okay, he goes off the greenhouse ceiling, onto his car, then onto the ground.
Why didn't he burst through the greenhouse?
Also, really quick, he
That
flies.
glass is unbreakable.
He
yeah.
flies
That's right. Okay.
out of the window, flipping backwards, but then lands on the greenhouse on his face. So there's like a continuity error there.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then he flies off, lands on his car,
I mean, if that's what you're worried about in this film.
and he stands up to start breaking the windows, and they just like keep like reforming, which is like okay, whatever.
It's a whole self-healing house.
That I did kind of like. I was like, that's
yeah, that's
pretty
kind
neat.
of cool. Yeah, it's like, oh, the house is alive
'Cause it
too.
was
Very the haunting.
Like, yeah, it was very haunting.
Yeah, but that actually ends up like having more of a dimension to the whole haunted house thing, because now I'm more interested in the house than these ghosts running around.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
It seems to be like Monster House and Alive.
Yeah.
So then Madame Leota is outside.
Somehow. She rolls herself out there.
Oh, he took her.
There's a hamster that climbs in and just like takes her where she needs to go.
But she's outside. And she's like, "You're giving up that easily?"
It's like,
That was
good. The
Yeah,
house is haunted. Bye.
Well,
You know?
she does have a good line. She's like, "You can fail all you want, but when you give up, that's the real failure." And I was like, "Oh,
Thanks,
that's
Jennifer
cute."
Tilly.
I was like, "Jennifer
That's
Tilly."
the story of her career.
Failing upwards.
But I was like, I keep seeing that like Eddie Murphy's like, they're trying to make him seem like he's a silver-sword man. He's got a huge ego. He's always checking himself out in the mirror.
Right.
He's always worrying about his suit. Literally, he's in the mud. They threw him in the mud.
And he's like, what do you want me to do? They're trying to fuck my wife. They're going to fuck my wife.
Yeah, exactly.
I've given up. I don't know where my children are. I'm going to curl up in a ball next to my BMW and just cry.
Right.
It's like, there's no one I can call. There's nothing I can do.
And then he just, as if nothing had just happened the scene prior with him trying to break the glass, just drives through the house.
I know. It's like, what if the car was just like, and like
And he just
Like,
dies
that's
and
so
just crushes
flat,
it. But no, he busts through the house, and they're getting ready to have the wedding.
Okay,
and
but
nobody.
how does he get so they left that house eventually. How did they get the car out of the house?
No, but okay. So but let's go back to like the whole.
What, Sarah?
Yeah, Sarah. The whole moment, Sarah's like, "Oh wait, this isn't just a nice story," and she's all like, "No, I won't do that." And then that's when the whole ball.
That's when we get. Then we get this like this moment with fucking creepy guy.
Yeah.
Where he's like coming down the stairs
With
and
which
it's like-
one? Terrence or the Master?
Terrence.
Okay.
He's coming down the stairs, and it's like this really like creepy, like adult moment. He's coming down the stairs, and you're like, "Whoa, what's gonna happen?" And his fucking cock is hanging out of his pants, and he's just like.
It's gonna be this, right?
It's really adult for the movie,
right?
And while his dick is hanging out of his pants.
Can't believe I fell into
Everyone's
that.
like,
I'm looking right at it. I'm like, what?
I gotta watch this movie again.
Yeah, no.
Because there was a moment when the Master was walking down the stairs, and I was like, I don't think he's wearing underwear.
No, his dick's out, and he just goes, "I hate black people." It's just like the weird reveal of this movie.
I don't think it was necessarily like that, but he's definitely a racist.
His dick is definitely.
He is definitely a racist. But I'm just
even I fell for it because I've been waiting.
I was waiting, and I was like, "Yep, he trolled me. He trolled me real bad."
So the kids,
right now.
they got locked in a
trunk.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
puts them in a trunk.
They all go back up to the attic and they find the letter. It turns out that the original wife did really want to marry this guy.
Yes,
She
that's
wrote
right.
a letter that's like, "I'm so excited to marry you," but it turns out that this creepy butler poisoned her and then wrote a note that was like, "I can't be with you. I got to kill myself."
Perfectly forged her handwriting.
Yeah. And so like that's what started the curse.
Yeah,
And,
because
like,
he points it out, but he's like, "But this is Elizabeth's handwriting."
And he
You're
like,
one, well, how do you really know that?
yeah.
But that's how Eddie gets thrown out of the house and the kids get locked in the
Two,
trunk.
also weird that like this and Pirates of the Caribbean prominently used Elizabeth as their like one of their main character titles.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about that.
Then Eddie Murphy has a run-in with the suits of armor. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, to
Like,
save
let's
his
just-
kids.
that
Like, he's gonna do
was
some
a
jumping,
waste of
dodging.
He catches like a halberd with his like bare hand.
Yeah.
Where does that go on?
It's
It's not like-
yo, that force was coming down hard.
I can't remember.
I thought that it was just gonna miss him, and he was gonna be like, no, he full on
Catches
stops
it.
her.
Yeah.
Full on goes like that.
I was like, I didn't know that you had those kind of talents. But also a question, because I just can't recall. Are the suits of armor in the ride animatronic at all? Like,
Yes.
Do they move
right in
a
the beginning?
axe
The
or
one goes
something?
like this.
Just shakes.
If you didn't know, all I did was just move my arms forward and backwards.
No,
That's
but
about
before
it.
I know
just
there was
jiggled his
I know
tits.
there was a time where they were actually
It was
a
for
cast member.
a very limited time. There was a cast member who jumped down and be like, "Ah!" and then it like really fucked.
And
me
I
up a
think
lot.
they're more
then his dick popped
animatronic
out.
in another
And they were like, we can't have
park?
this.
Yes.
Is it Disney World or Paris that they're actually
I
more?
think Disney World. It has a bit more of a range of motion to it. It's much.
So it's like
I missed the part where they had like Escher stairs.
Oh, dude,
That would have been interesting.
that's fucking sweet.
You know, well, that's the thing is like if you incorporate the Escher stairs of Florida,
Yeah.
right, with something such as the stretching room that they didn't, right, and just like give it this weird
Well,
trippy
then it's
sequence.
Harry Potter.
I know, right, but like still, like especially in the part where we didn't touch on it really like elaborately, but when he first meets Madame Leota and he is part of all the crazy floating instruments around the room and everything. That's a moment when you could have thrown him into like a trippy sequence of being like, now I'm on the stairs,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And now I'm in this crazy room, like just to give us those things. If you're literally beating us over the head with references to the ride, you miss some solid opportunities to give us these.
They beat
things.
you over the head with like references to the ride that you like straight up
Just
don't
care
give a
about.
shit
Yeah.
about. It's like, oh yeah,
the
really,
back.
really cool. The stones
Yeah.
turn.
Yeah, but-
fucking sweet.
But it's like they do like 5 minutes of like the what you want, a fangasm of like this sort of ride to hit you with 10 minutes of like this makes no sense. Where
Yeah.
where is this
Well,
movie?
so,
Where did
like-
this movie get this
Like
from?
the entire climax of the movie where we don't care that it's like, you're gonna get married, and she takes a sip of the wine, but then it's like, I object, which I hate that.
which
in
is so
every
funny
movie.
because where he's like, does anybody have any objections? And then Eddie Murphy just like kicks the door in. It's like, I object. Like, motherfucker, you didn't hear that.
Yeah.
You're in the other room.
I hate that movies because it always happens.
And it's like, Terence Stamp, but Ralsley, right? Ramsley.
Such a Butler name.
All of a sudden, Ramsley comes out. He's a priest. He's ordained.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I didn't even think. Remember when Eddie Murphy's hitting the mansion with that one thing he breaks off?
Yeah.
It becomes a prominent symbol on his like tunic. And I'm all like, now you're hitting me with some sort of symbolism here?
Yeah.
There's an order that Ramsley, like he belongs to, the order of like...
The order of the
I'm going to stop...
stone railing.
Yeah, the stone railing, the order
like
I'm like,
metal.
I can't let this like...
He's like bending it off and it's like...
I'm like,
it wasn't even stone,
the
it's so
order of
weird.
the butlers that I can't let my master marry this like multiracial person or something like that.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Then,
so it just KKK.
Oh, like, in Louisiana.
It's a secret society where you guys wear robes and you don't like black people? Sounds like something I've heard of before.
Your robes are purple.
Because
Did you
that's
wash them
it.
with some purple clothing?
Yeah.
Literally, Eddie Murphy walks in like, "Hey, object!" Right?
Yeah.
And he's like, "No!" Right? And he's like, "Go and read the letter!" Right? And he's like, "What?" Because like basically the master like is like, "I challenge you to a sword fight. She's mine." Right? And he's like, "Nah, how about you just read the letter?" Right?
Yeah.
And I was like, "This is not a climax."
No, and he
This
says
is like
something like...
completely diffused the situation with actual logic.
This is like
which was mind blowing.
Which is not something any movie would do. They would actually have at least a sequence where he's trying to chase him around with the room with the sword.
He uses
maybe
a
cuts off his tie.
to fight it off.
Like on God,
Runs
right?
through the room of stairs.
Anything.
He does
right?
say, I'm going to kick your ass.
Right? Anything to show that you kind of actually fought for your wife other than just literally drove through a building and was like, here, read this letter.
Read this piece of paper.
Right?
Take it for a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he reads it, and then Ramsey's like, yes, as I've reiterated before, I don't like black people. And then it's like, okay.
Because this is the reveal, but this is one of those things where, does anybody remember the actual wording, right? Because it is so skirted around where it's like it is hinted where it's like just say that you don't like black people.
Two different parts of life that shouldn't be missed.
And also parts of the world.
And parts of your skin.
I couldn't have you throw it all away.
Right.
Yeah.
Throw what away?
Ooh.
Your financial investment and the
Right.
people that you own? I will not say?
I couldn't be reminded of that awful excursion to Africa again. Like,
This is Louisiana!
yeah,
No, yeah,
right?
and then
like even because that's what I mean. It's like they're skirting around the fact that it's like, oh, it's the 1800s, and he's clearly was just a butler who's racist. But like also at the same time, it's just like, you are also a servant. Right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I couldn't have you marry one of the help. You know? I get paid for my help and she does not. We are not equals. Like, it's something where
it's
you're just
very
like,
weird.
Jesus Christ. Like, just
say it.
Say it. Just say it.
It's like,
say it.
Yo, I came here for a Haunted Mansion movie. I came here for a good time, not like this like deep like racial lesson.
Yeah, right.
Also, like a whole dark Eucharist sort of thing that was going on, and I didn't.
No, so then
wasn't about that.
I realized that when she walked down a dark hallway, I could not see her.
Oh no.
and then okay. So then, I mean, like, I'm all like the background. There's even more backstory to Master Gracie with his uniform. Now I'm supposed to understand that he's some sort of like soldier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
They just got that from the pirate set.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
just
like-
wear that.
on guard.
Well, so actually, 2 chairs from this movie. There's now a chair in the attic of the Disneyland attic scene, and then in the Haunted Mansion attraction, one of the chairs that's in the pirates blunder at the very end with Jack is one of the chairs from this movie.
Yeah, that's about as much of a tie-in as this movie got.
Wow.
Because
Okay.
there actually is tie-in between the Pirates of the Caribbean attraction and the Haunted Mansion attraction.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of backstory and lore, like Lafitte's Landing, like it's crazy.
Yeah.
A lot of racism.
Yeah.
That's
But
the
no,
tie-in.
so the weird thing is like, so then you're like, all right, Gracie knows now. Sweet. He has a sword. We're going to have a cool fight. And then hell opens up and just fucking takes him away.
Yeah.
The guy goes, "Go to hell!"
Damn you all! And it's like, can you summon the serpent from hell? Did you unlock the beast?
But then the beast comes
this
and
goes
just takes
full
him.
revelation, man.
Him in this poorly CGI'd weird scene where like they have like jelly bones. They like, and he grabs Eddie Murphy and he was like, ah, and he's like whipping around, and then he just gets sucked out.
I thought it was what is it like?
No, it was Voldemort's fire dragon.
No, it was like the wraiths or something like that, or the Dementors that came after.
Yeah.
It's a wraith.
That they came after.
Oh, when they
him.
bust through the windows, all those ghosts.
Yeah. It's like they come.
The wraith, yeah.
They come through there, and then he's like, "Well, if you summon
Ghost man, it ain't cool.
if you summon the power of hell, don't you have control over it?
No,
we just call. It's like calling the cops, and they beat the crap out of you. I just called the cops. Oh no, officer! I was the one that called and beat the crap out of you right there.
Yeah, because
They were just predicting the future.
you're right. Because like basically, he summons. He's like, you all, damn you to hell, right? And then, like he said, the fireplace opens up to like a portal of hell. A fire dragon comes out.
Yeah.
Dementors come through the windows, and do not touch anyone but the person who was like, I damn you to hell. They're like, that's not how this works. Patrick Swayze the shit out of that guy.
Yeah, they just grab him and are just like, yeah, get him out of here. They're the real heroes of this movie.
Let's call it a day.
It's
Johnson. Let's we got the hell demon here.
yeah.
And then the original lady's ghost comes back to be in Sarah's body. They make out. Then like Eddie Murphy's like, excuse me, stop that.
Yeah.
And then
But not before he turns to his children. Okay, so like basically
that's still-
like
that's
we
not
said,
your mom.
Sarah
Yeah.
was
That's not your mom.
poisoned, right? And so she died, right?
Yeah,
right
she
there.
straight up dies.
Straight up dies,
Good on
right?
her.
And
Anyway,
nobody is showing the proper amount of emotion, right? Not the captain, not over what he could have possibly, or just actually literally watching what looks like the embodiment of his love literally die again in his arms.
And he's like,
right?
whatever.
And no child sheds a tear, and Eddie Murphy's like, I guess my wife's dead. Right? Now it's
been
just
through a lot that day.
now it's just Evers and me and Evers, just me.
Yeah.
Like
Also,
it's just
the fact that they have been confirmed. Not only are there ghosts, there's a hell. I've just seen the beast
this
from
next
Revelations
scene,
come out and get General Zod and drag him to hell. And I love how he fell all Hans Gruber style.
Yeah, he's like,
and then he's holding out to Eddie, and he's just like pulls up. Ah!
happy trails, Hans.
Oh, we did. This was one of my main gripes with the ghost physics. Is in an earlier scene, Eddie Murphy goes to punch Ramsley, and his fist goes through him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's right, I'm a ghost." And then it's like, "Oh shit!" And then Eddie Murphy's about to fall into the hell pit, but Master Gracie, who is a ghost, grabs him and pulls him out of the pit.
Ghosts can touch you. You can't touch them.
Hey, it comes from the gut. You gotta feel it. Okay. He did the soda can thing. Patrick Swayze in the.
He went in the subway. He learned.
Get off my train!
I can't
remember my name.
So then we also get confirmed that there is a heaven.
Yes,
Human danger, child.
because they just. Oh, but.
Oh, why wasn't Whoopi in this movie?
No, no, she was supposed to be.
Oh,
No, really?
So was
No.
Dan. Well, the people that were supposed to be.
They put her on the Hollywood ride.
The Ghostbusters were supposed to be in this movie, but then that was back in the 80s, and they couldn't get any of them by the time they did make it.
Is that real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Holy
It was
crap!
really just supposed to be
Bill Murray was
Dan
just like-
Aykroyd, Bill
yeah.
Murray.
Now I love, and it like if this becomes a running joke, I love the fact that like. After Tyler's dick joke, I need to then go, is that real?
Is that real?
No, but before that, he gives the deed to the. He's like, here's the deed. And he's like, do what you want with the house, sell it, I don't give a
Masturbate.
shit. I don't. He just like goes away.
But I'm all like, wait, what, in what? I don't know. In what city council or government or even like city hall would you like? Yeah, so I came up on this deed. I was like, you mean this haunted mansion that nobody's even like gone out and seen?
Yeah, Ghost gave it to me.
So what's the legality of this? You know what I'm saying? It's like it looks like he's out of his damn mind.
And then the good news is we never get to see that.
Yeah, which is so weird. He's like, he gets the deed, and you're like, all right, cool. We're gonna see what they do with this house. And then they just fuck off.
Okay, but no, we're forgetting the whole heaven scene. You were bringing it up.
Yeah. They ascend.
Yeah. Basically, that's it. Like,
that's
his wife goes into
so
the body,
Elizabeth,
and then...
not Sarah. Elizabeth, the past version of Sarah.
Yeah. She does the whole beast elevation scene,
which is also a little bit racist to me. That Terence Stamp and the Master and everybody basically are saying all black people look alike. Because like they're like it's her, and I'm like, it's not her, because it'd be one thing if like in The Haunting it's her great granddaughter or something. It is not. It's literally like she looks like her.
Yeah, because they show her ghost at the end, and it's like they didn't
change it.
No,
it's the same actress and everything.
Yeah,
just different hair.
Yeah. It's like,
and
okay.
So Elizabeth goes into her body, like reanimates her for a second, and then is like, I gotta go to heaven, and like pieces out of her body, and then it's like she dies a second time.
Yeah.
Right? And then kind of just wakes up as Sarah and is like, hey, I'm good. And like, I think I wrote it. Oh yeah. Eddie Murphy, in this moment when she died the first time, he was like, Sarah, hey, I love you. Hey, I love you so much.
Hey, we sold the house.
Hi.
She's like,
hey,
God.
Hey, I can't lose half of my business partner.
Yeah.
I already have cards that
you
says
contributed almost nothing to this business, I think.
I almost feel like he, literally that was the first read, and they were like, great, Eddie, cut, print.
So yeah, the whole deed, they ascend to heaven, and then we get the scene of them driving off, and it's
with
like they take Madame Leota with them, and I love the little girl's like, Mom, Madame Leota won't shut up about her stupid poems.
Yeah, which is really funny. Yeah,
it is kind of cute. And then the singing bus are on the back of their truck, and they're like, goodbye, end of film.
Yeah.
And they just drive off into the sunset.
Into heaven.
I didn't even get it, because it was like, after they ascend, and then it's like Ezra and
So were
Emma.
none of them ghosts?
So Ezra and Emma, they get to go. So it's like, if you only lived in the house, do you get to ascend?
Because remember, like, there's a basically a light beam into the sky shot. Right, and there's a bunch of
the house.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right.
It's the beacon that called all the cybugs.
Okay. Yeah,
okay. Wreck-It Ralph.
No, for me they were all the old sparks.
But what?
That's what it's like. They start off as ghosts, and then the old spark comes out of her again.
The matrix of leadership, Bumblebee,
and then they all go back to Cybertron, and I'm all like, all right. I'm good. They could have ended the movie there, and I would have been happy.
Right?
But you gotta
they literally could have walked out the house being like, so how are we going to sell this?
Yeah, it could have ended on, like, a good joke.
Or at least a joke, yeah. Like, just being like, yeah, so, like, I don't think we're going to sell it. You know, like, I think we're just going to leave it alone.
Or just be like, welcome to our new home. Like, something that, like, is like,
and
all
then,
this
like,
hard work was worth.
Or,
exactly.
Damn it, like, put them on the road, and then out of the back seat, right? Because it's still kind of like a back window kind of shot that they do. Out of the back, that's where you put the goddamn hitchhiking ghosts.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you set up kind of a sequel.
Or just do, like, an ending where, like, nothing matters, and they just drive into the sunset.
Drive off the bridge.
Yeah, just like you know what? Even the redeeming part with the kid walk off with a little pet spider. Or, the girl gets reception finally.
Or the girl, like, does, like, some gymnastics, like, kicks a raptor out of a window or something like that.
The cricket from Princess and the Frog shows up.
Or God forbid, Sarah actually says something meaningful that,
or says something.
Dead in the
delivers
eyes.
a line
because it's never really explained, like, what exactly is the curse?
Yeah, there's not even like a, oh yeah, and then someone put a curse on the house. It's just like...
It's like the Curse of the Black Pearl. They were just like, that curses are big this year.
Well, no, the Curse of the Black Pearl made sense because it came from that cursed treasure. But like
whoever
exactly.
had
That's what I
a
mean,
piece,
though.
That cursed Trevor.
There isn't this like, she killed herself, so now we're all cursed, right?
Yeah,
or he
it's
killed
more,
himself.
No. It's like more like she's there because she was murdered, and then they're cursed because he committed suicide. So then Terence Stamp's character
why
and
are
everybody
they?
else,
This isn't like
because
a witch showed up and was like,
I think they were
take
going,
me in, and
no,
he's like, no, you're a fucking beast.
I think they were trying to go off the whole. You get it because you saw Beauty and the Beast, and because the master of the house is cursed. All
master
of you
of
guys,
the house.
all of you guys are cursed now. Now the additional ghosts in the exterior, they were just explaining people who had unfinished business. But I mean, all of them had unfinished business. Apparently, the executioner. I don't know why the executioner who was chopping people's heads off had unfinished business. I think he did his job. I think he fulfilled his life purpose, but he had unfinished business.
So many more heads to chop. I don't know.
Yeah. That was the Haunted Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible ending.
For better or worse.
I mean, it was a bad. I mean, but that ending made no sense.
So we have the Jaws scale: Jaws 1, Jaws 2, Jaws 3, and Jaws 4.
All right, you gentlemen, since it's your first time, you go ahead and go first. What do you think?
Vicente has no idea what we're talking about.
You got to rate the movie on a scale of Jaws 1 to Jaws 4.
No, I know. I'm just trying to think. It's like I don't know, between Jaws 3 and 4, because it wasn't like it was just garbage.
Right. It was actually produced well.
It produced well. It was just that like felt Eddie Murphy was just too much, that he wasn't even allowed to be
No, I
Eddie
feel like
Murphy.
he was a good portion of it. I feel like they did tell him to dial it back, but just because the other actors weren't bringing it forward.
Oh, I mean, I think
I'd give it a Jaws 3.
Yeah,
For
Eddie
me,
Murphy was fully wasted.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. He
It
was
was
there
like
for a paycheck.
so much money wasted on him that he wasn't used.
But what's weird is because this is in that time period of like also like Daddy Daycare, right?
Yeah.
Which is very funny, I think. Like for being something where it's like Eddie Murphy was trying to do something for his own kids, right?
All 12 of them.
Well, how many is he up to now? He recently had
He just
one.
had another one. I think
What
he
was
has.
Scary Spice?
No, that was a long time ago. No, but he has like something like 12 kids or something.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, he just keeps popping out them
Right.
kids.
So we didn't even touch on it though. Real quick, when we were like, oh, this is like decently shot and everything. Like, do you know what this director did?
Stuart Little.
Stuart Little.
The Lion
Okay.
He's the Lion King director.
It says Rob Minkoff, right? Now, Rob Minkoff, when it comes to just directing alone, right? Okay, has 14 credits to his name. They include the Tummy Trouble and Roller Coaster Rabbit shorts from Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
Okay. Lion King, Stuart Little 1 and 2, and The Forbidden Kingdom.
All right, so Lion King's notable.
Yeah, Lion King's good.
I mean, but that's the biggest. And Lion King was before this.
Which one was the Forbidden Kingdom?
Forbidden
talk
Kingdom,
about it.
2000.
It's forbidden.
2008. It was the Jackie Chan movie.
Oh, okay. Was that with that one kid, generic kid? I forgot his name.
I don't know.
No, that's the Karate Kid with Jaden Smith.
Very generic. You're not wrong.
Wait, is it when he's the drunken immortal in the Forbidden Kingdom?
I believe so.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
That was generic.
Yeah. So
white kid. Yes.
Okay, Jaws 3. What do you got?
I'd give it a Jaws 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on a Jaws 3 as well.
I couldn't. I cannot disagree. It is just. I can't recommend it.
No.
I don't think anybody recommended it here.
Not at all.
Even die-hard Haunted Mansion fans, you'll just be extremely
that
upset.
would, I think that would crush him badly.
Mm-hmm. I know one person for sure.
Yeah.
Did.
I'm very
You're
curious.
Tyler.
We have one in the room right now that was just like.
Yeah, I wanted Haunted Mansion. I got Norbert Scared Straight. So
Yeah.
That's how it started off with
Medea's Spooky House.
with Jonathan about it. I was like, oh, Haunted Mansion, here we go. Norbert versus General Zod.
Yeah, yeah. So that's our Jaws scale, and we wouldn't recommend it. I would have to say that at this point, we all completely just hated it, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But there are people out there that loved it.
It's 2 5-stars and 1 1-star.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is Gimme 5. These are 5 and 10-star reviews found on Amazon and IMDb. And if we are unable to find ones enough that culminate to
there were
the
enough
most
5
positives,
stars, but I wanted to just throw in a 1-star for fun.
Okay, all right. So the first one is written by Arlie Top Gun 2. This was just written in August.
Just in August.
Yep.
Wow.
Titled, Absolutely Loved It. It was a good mix of funny and, quote, horror. All those people who give Eddie Murphy and the other actors crap are just being mean. Yes, there were a few things that didn't make sense, and there were changes that could have been made, but that's the case with nearly every movie. 5 stars.
No, it's not.
5 stars.
And
This was
why-
written by Eddie Murphy.
Wait, 5 stars.
I
Are you
love
serious?
those reviews because they're just like, yeah, you could do some things different to make it better, but it's great. It's like, that doesn't make it a 5-star.
Imagine if it
film.
was like a good movie.
Yeah.
5 stars.
That's like if I gave a review for a restaurant for pizza. It's like, it's not the best pizza, and some of it could have been cooked, but that's with any other pizza if you would have cooked it. I'm like, well, duh.
Great restaurant.
Great restaurant, 5 stars.
I mean, like, the casting wasn't very good, and then the script also wasn't. But, like, if they had actually done that, then, like, this review would make sense.
This movie. Now we just got to
dying.
sit around and wait for Guillermo del Toro to get his shit together and make the actual Haunted Mansion.
Damn.
Oh, I'm
That
so
would be
sorry.
so
I mean, he's
good.
going through his divorce, so it's like, it kind of just threw him off.
Yeah, whatever. Spike Lee gave us Her after he got divorced, so, you know.
Oh, now we're going to get into that.
He gave us his wife.
We're going to get into that.
Yeah, hers about as that.
It's sad.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad.
So next one's written by
Slut?
Slumdog.
I was just being. This one's written by Slut.
This one's done by Snow Leopard Master.
No Leopard Master.
Also written this year, May 2018. What did I miss?
I know exactly who it is.
What?
It's someone's girlfriend, but not their wife.
Oh, Snow Leopard Master.
It's her spirit animal. if you guys
Lord
wanna know.
Cowboy Master.
Duke Cowboy reporting in.
Duke Cowboy Snow Leopard. So this one said titled Bad, but in a good way.
Okay.
Okay.
And
this is a 5-star?
Miami Connection? Yep, this one's a 5-star, correct?
Yes.
This one?
Yeah.
Jared?
If it's the second one, yeah. I put them in order.
Okay. Oh, okay. Sometimes basing a movie off of a ride turns out great, like Pirates of the Caribbean. And sometimes you end up with this.
It sounds like a negative review.
But is that really a bad thing? Sure, a lot of people hated this movie, but I genuinely enjoyed it. The plot, while far from scary at any point, wasn't half bad. It was creative and actually quite fun. And the best part? The movie was hilarious. Some of the jokes were pretty clever,
Some of them were clever.
but the funniest parts were unintentional.
I feel like this whole movie was unintentional.
In some scenes, the CGI is absolutely atrocious. And that makes it funny. It's hard not to crack up when poorly animated minuscule tubas are orbiting Eddie Murphy. Oh yeah, did I mention Eddie Murphy? So, this movie isn't really for everyone. The overly critical and the easily offended will not like this movie.
Or anybody with taste, yeah.
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 But anybody with good sense of humor will enjoy it, despite its faults. 5 stars.
I personally like this movie because when I walked out of the theater, no one punched me straight in the balls. 5 stars.
That sounds like I don't know. That sounds like a dating profile. It's all like, maybe I'm not for everybody. who doesn't have a sense of humor?
Or the easily offended.
Easily offended, but
especially when Eddie Murphy said "fuck."
And that dick dropped out of Terence Stamp's pants.
Dick slapped that.
Oh,
bitch
you damn you to hell.
Not me, not me.
Speaking of damn you to hell, the 1 star.
Here we go.
This person's mad, huh?
Written by Jaina55 in October of 2005. Titled, "This was the worst movie I have ever seen.
Ooh.
I can't believe Disney would even put their name on this one. It's not for children, as there are suicides towards the beginning and at the end of the movie when they send the master to hell. They use very foul language, and it scarred my kid to death with the fire and sound effects. This movie is an embarrassment for Disney. Disney is known for their outlandish effects and storylines. They are known for entertaining the whole family. The originality and quality are what Walt Disney envisioned for his company. And this movie probably has Walt turning over in his grave. Whoever gave the go on the filming of this story plot, much less the release of the movie itself, ought to be fired." 1 star.
I also hated the dick scene.
And why was his penis out?
That part was okay.
My kid kind of didn't cry.
Scarred?
Yep. Scarred my kid to death with the fire and sound effects.
The fire.
Walt Disney would be rolling in his grave that a black man was given a starring role. And he didn't sing 1 song.
Right, because this is a very conservative review, too.
Yeah.
Also, that 55, as soon as you said it, I was like, this is like a Disney freak.
Yeah.
This was like someone who was like really looking forward to this.
Yeah.
The ghosts in Louisiana have eye holes.
Oh, man.
They were not the proper robes that Terrence was wearing.
He's like, when the Blue Bayou was not featured, I did not get to see the proper meals. Terrible. Simply terrible.
Yaz Kitchen was not featured.
But here's the thing. It's weird because of how the property is. It's because it's a movie that's based off a ride. And if we go the other side of the coin with Universal, it's kind of crappy rides, which are actually based on really good films. It's like
I wouldn't say Transformers is a really good film. But.
You know what I'm saying? It's like
I wouldn't say Minions and.
I would say E.T. rocks. Though.
No. You got
it does
E.T.,
not.
You got Jurassic Park. You got obviously Jaws.
I mean, if you're on an acid trip, Tyler, E.T. rocks.
even as ridiculous as you have to admit the Fast and the Furious franchise is. I mean,
Hurricane Heist, guys.
When you get into the ride and they have that whole club scene, it's like it's ridiculous. What are they basing it off? It's the Fast and the Furious. So when you want it to be true to the material, which is
to be fair
ride,
though, Fast and the Furious is fucking awful.
Yeah,
that
ride's so bad,
awful,
and that's what I hear. But for the Haunted Mansion,
out of state, it's not really a ride; it's just part of the.
No, but
it's a projection tunnel.
In Florida, it is its own standalone ride, and it was like voted the worst attraction of 2018.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Take that, James Wan.
So for someone, I mean, I don't know, to expect so much more out of the Haunted Mansion ride.
Well, I mean, it's the whole Disney thing to where it's like they are supposed to provide more, and when they don't, it backfires. It always backfires for them.
You're not wrong, but I will also say when that was written, 2005, right? That means that this person probably, because it sounds like they're very in the Disney, like, something to expect.
All right.
They probably saw Pirates, and that is now the standard of being like, here's what you can do with an IP. And look how it exploded.
And here's how you can beat a dead horse.
Yeah.
Mermaids
but the thing with
in love with priests.
But the thing about
I love the mermaid scene though.
Yeah, the mermaid scene is so good.
Oh my God, seriously, getting down with the priest.
But no, the whole thing about
I don't know about the priest. I just mean their introduction in that fourth film.
The whole thing about Pirates of the Caribbean though, that's awesome, and why it works so much better is because there's almost
no story
nothing to do with the ride.
Yeah.
Other than
because the ride doesn't have a story really.
No, yeah, you see skeletons that are just dead, and then the filmmakers of Pirates of the Caribbean were like, "Hey, what if those people are the people that you see later on?" And it's like, awesome. This one was like,
You see those ghosts in the graveyard? They're still gonna be in the graveyard.
That's great.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Eddie
it's a
Murphy's
graveyard.
there.
No,
Yeah.
in Pirates, the only thing you really see from the right
Yeah.
is the dog.
This
The
this
dog
was
in the
like
jail scene.
this is
Yeah.
like
With the
Haunted
keys.
Mansion, and their first pitch meeting was like, "What if the ghosts from the 18th century were still racist?" It's just
a love that can't be. Why? We can't talk about it.
Also, I was blown away that this movie's only rated PG. Because, like, they do, I mean, to that lady's credit, they do kind of swear, quote unquote, a lot for a PG movie.
There's a suicide, there's a murder.
There's a dick.
It's a full-on flaccid penis.
awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the Haunted Mansion. Be sure to tune in next week for,
Hurricane Heist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry, for a second.
I was like, this is the month of this is the month of Jarrett. Jarrett picked all our movies except for our live show.
But our live show still has a deep meaning for me, so I'm glad it kind of worked
in the
out
sea?
with the live
A deep
show.
blue sea meaning.
Deep blue sea meaning.
Yes, if you are in the Southern California area, please make sure you join us for Deep Blue Sea. That is January 18th. Here at the Frida Cinema. You can get tickets www.thefridacinema.org/events/bombsawaylive. And then you can also get tickets for our February show, which is The Wheel of Cage. Spin the wheel. We don't know what crappy movie we'll do for Nick Cage. And you can get that one at www.thefridacinema.org/events/The Wheel of Cage. Ladies and gentlemen, also, if you had a comment or question about this film or anything that we discussed today or any previous film, you can write to us, contact@bombsawayshow.com. You can also write a comment or share anything that you'd like with us on all of our social media platforms at Bombs Away Show. Other than that, we do have amazing t-shirts related to the bad movies of our past live shows and our future stuff. Demolition Man, Mac and Me, Death Spa, like all these t-shirts, they are available. Go to tpublic.com and search for Bombs Away Show, and every single t-shirt that we have for sale is available right now. Okay? Anybody got anything to plug?
Nope.
Okay. Well,
Check out the 3 shells.
that's it. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, that just about does it for us. Thank you for joining us and on this journey, and welcome our brand new hosts, Vicente and Tyler. And I'm Jonathan.
I'm Jarrett.
I'm Tyler.
I'm Vicente.
And
Go to hell.
This has been a production of Big Bulb Entertainment, executive produced by Jonathan Young. For more media and information, visit us at www.bigbulbentertainment.com. Big Bulb, what's your bright idea?